Buenos dias, Dota fans, as we get ready for our final day here at the Lima Major. My name's Tsunami, and I am so pleased to be able to be bringing you the thrilling conclusion of South America's very first DPC Major. And it's not just me doing it, I have a panel, an esteemed panel, a well-dressed panel, and a well-braided panel as well. Jenkins, you're looking sharp as hell right now.
That's right. For this beautiful, fantastic day of Dota 2, we had to pull out all the stops.
All the stops.
That's right.
This is your S tier look.
I sat down and told them Jack Sparrow, and I don't think that's what happened here.
You ended up with Lil Yachty, I think.
We're going Poland after this, that's for sure, Tsunami.
Oh my god.
Effie, welcome your black tie finest for a black tie finest of Dota. The top 3 of the Lima Major. It's finally here.
I'm so excited. And the Dota has been so good this entire event. But this is actually my first Valve event in front of a crowd, so it's actually, it's very overwhelming to hear the audience and to react to everything with them. It's something super special. So I'm just looking forward to seeing us team win today.
And Astini, I didn't even know you owned a suit. Where the hell did you get this thing from? Why have you been hiding from us?
Because it's SA, so I was on the SA mood but now it's grand finals. Doesn't matter, it's Dota 2, the world is looking at us.
That's right.
Most important match.
And you brought your most important outfit, and we're all here to watch the most important Dota, because only 3 teams are left as we take a look at the bracket and where we remain here in the Lima Major. Started out with 18 teams, and now we're just down to 3. You can see in the far right side of your screen, GG. It's not because the game's already over, it's because Game & Gladiators are our first grand finalist. Western Europeans DPC's second place is sitting there, waiting for their best of 5. And their opponents are going to be either Team Liquid or Talon Esports. Southeast Asia and 2 Western European teams. What a distribution, Jenkins. I mean, I guess Western Europe we probably saw being the favorites, but SEA has defied expectations.
That is actually true. There have only been 2 other times where SEA has even made it to a grand finals in major history. And you know, the crazy thing is, they've won every time when they make it to the grand finals, but it's only been against Chinese teams, ever. Okay. So there's never been a Western European versus Southeast Asian grand finals ever in Dota 2. So we might see a first here today.
It's unprecedented times, and the reason why we may be considering Talon to be an easy favorite is because Liquid still have their stand-in. As we take a look at the schedule for today, it's Team Liquid versus Talon. If you are unaware of the news, Boxy unfortunately had a medical emergency, and Jabs stood in yesterday for their winner's bracket final match against Game & Gladiators. It was a learning experience for Jabs, Effie. Maybe they came into it with low expectations, but it was still, I mean, you're going up against one of the top 2 teams in the world. It was kind of rough.
Yeah, I mean, he was out of his element for sure. I'm sure there's an added layer of nerves and anxiety. I mean, it's his first time ever playing on main stage, and of course he feels like the burden of potentially being the one to make Liquid lose. But for the most part, I think they're happy with the results. They've accepted what has happened.
Yeah,
and I think Liquid has no chance versus Talon, if I'm being honest with the stand-in. It just feels like, so Jabs is not a professional player. He's a professional analyst. I'm sure he's a high 8K pub player, but playing in this kind of environment is an entirely different beast. And supporting in this kind of environment is an entirely different kind of beast. And apparently he's an offlane player in his pubs too. So it's just pretty unlucky that there was no synergy with the role that they lost and their potential stand in this major. But I mean, for the most part, there can be adjustments that they can make today. They can shift Insania to 4. I talked about it yesterday. They didn't do it today. They didn't do it yesterday, but I hope they're considering doing it today. I mean, put Jabs on some Treants, some Abaddons,
I totally agree with that.
Some Undying, and then just see where it goes from there. The one issue with that, though, Jenkins, is like the ward game is so important, and Insania's warding is like top tiered.
I think he can probably do that from 4 position, though. Like, I do think it is a patch where cores are even warding, right? It's like, depending on the team that you're looking at, if you look at the stats, it just depends on like which player is like good at warding that's putting most of the wards down. So I think they can do it. I have pretty high hopes for Liquid that, like, they're obviously faced with this really tough situation. They tried something, and they've had actually a couple of days to, like, scrim. They have Jabs having a little bit of practice on the main stage, and that's going to actually let them have time for adjustments. Like, when we saw them versus Gaming Gladiators, they were straight out of the fire and into the grill, or whatever they say, you know? Like, so they have a little bit more time to practice now, which is good for them.
Yeah, and these are the highlights from yesterday. We saw Talon versus Entity on your screen just a minute ago, and now we're in the Liquid versus Gaimin series. And Talon, despite the situation for Liquid, even if Liquid was at full power right now, Talon is... I've rarely seen this level of momentum on a LAN, Astini. They are firing on all cylinders. They were probably pretty tired yesterday. They got the 2-0 versus Entity. But then they had to go up against Shopify Rebellion, a 3-game series, a competitive 3-game series. North America fell, but Southeast Asia, they prevailed.
Yeah, their spellcasting so on point. Every team fight, there's a hero getting away with 10 HP, and they press all the stuns in the perfect order. So if they're like, oh, I'm gonna go for this gank, they're perfectly executed. They don't miss anything. They play so well as a team, and they know their strategies that they want to play. So sometimes they're trying to scale for the very late game, and then they're just holding their of the maps. Sometimes you look at their draft, you think they're gonna do that because, oh, they have Spectre. But then they can adapt. They look, wait, Shopify, they're playing split against a Spectre. We're gonna go and fight them. It's something you do not expect from Spectre draft, that they play fast tempo. So they know how to adapt really well in the game. That's what I'm worried about Liquid. If Liquid play like yesterday, they're gonna get crushed. Liquid needs to come with a very fast tempo, that you don't need to take their triangle, you don't need to invade the area of the Talon team, that you get a first Roche. Maybe Radiant is way better to execute that and just put a fast tempo. I guess we are kind of overthinking the Jab situation. Maybe. For me, the result is 100% obvious. Jab's gonna win this match. So let's forget about the Jab situation. Let's think how Liquid needs to play as a team. I feel like this Radiant, fast tempo, Beastmaster, Lash, DP, group up as 5, you have a chance.
Okay, I mean, yes, for anyone who is confused, there are 2 Jabs in this match. There is an off-lane Jabs on Talon, and there is a support Jabs on Team Liquid. You're not going to see him in this video, but you're going to see him on stage. So let's bring out Team Liquid to the arena. At any earlier stage in the tournament, you may look at this entire roster and be like, yeah, you could probably lose 20% of it in one player and still probably win every single game. Because the rest of these players on Team Liquid are just so goddamn good that they have been making everyone else look like chumps. Originally considered to be the strong favorites for this tournament, obviously given the circumstances that may have changed a little bit. But I think Jabs will be reinvigorated. He took his previous loss in stride. He's still memeing it up. Shout out to follow Jabs1301 on Twitter.com. And also show some love to Boxy. If you're a Team Liquid fan, I'm sure he is definitely very disappointed with the turn of events, but hopefully he's cheering his boys on and feeling well. So send some love to all these players because it's an unfortunate situation, but it's also a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, Jenkins. How often do you get to go on stage? Jabs was a former player. He was active from around 2017 to 2020. You show up and you have to play top 3 at a major in front of a crowd this energetic.
I don't know. I mean, I don't think you can count Liquid out. I really don't. I feel like you throw any stand-in into this mix and you're going to have issues on day 1. I really believe in having a few days to figure out what's the easiest way to integrate this guy into the team, whether it is just picking him easy stuff like the tree, and because, you know, 5 position is probably the easiest role in Dota right now. I've been asking a lot of the players backstage, regardless of the situation. I was curious because I wanted to swap roles to whatever the easiest one is. And they said, yeah, 5 is the easiest. It's Treant, it's Undying. You could even run these heroes in the 4 position, change up your heroes a little bit, put a little bit more of a burden on Zai to like play heroes that combo well with those heroes that are like easier to play and easier to integrate with. And, you know, Talon, they got to be careful. You can't get too cocky. You know, this is still a really strong team. This is a world-class team, and they could still win this.
My boy Blitz out there in the challenge jacket, ready to be Team Liquid Senpai. But is he better than Sunbi on Talon Esports? Only one way to find out. Let's bring out Talon Esports. A top 3 finish at this major at the minimum, coming from a 3rd place finish in the Southeast Asian DPC after having to win a tiebreaker. They win it, and they have just been crushing their way through this tournament ever since. They already did fall to Liquid earlier. This was their upper bracket matchup, and they got 2-0'd. They went down, and then proceeded to smash their way through every single other opponent. They 2-0'd Hellraisers, they 2-1 Team Spirit, they 2-0'd Entity, and they 2-1 Shopify Rebellion to make it here all the way to the lower bracket final. This is a team that has found some incredible magic, Effie. I have never seen such an approach from Southeast Asia, at least not since T1 at the Animajor, and 23 Savage was on that roster, so maybe there's just some magic that he's capable of.
I think they're just very good, and people are realizing how good they are and how good they've been all along, but it just feels like they're thriving in this environment. That's honestly what I think.
Yeah.
They walk out like they own their stage, they sit in that booth, and the crowd, it gives them energy.
They slap hands. A lot of players don't slap hands. That gives energy.
They're hand slappers, but, I mean, Jenkins and I were theory crafting the terminology, okay? But what is the opposite of a choker? It's a strangler.
Or a strangulator, if you want to get...
Asphyxiator, suffocator.
We learned that there are a lot of words for strangulate.
Perhaps we should explain the definition of what we're going for.
So a choker is somebody who feels the nerves during a main stage event, and then they play bad. But a strangler, that would be the opposite. That would be somebody who makes other players choke.
True.
Or we could call them meditators. For good breathing, the opposite of choking.
Oh yeah, like the Wim Hof method.
Yes, of course.
They take deep ice baths before they play.
Or they're the chicken nugget in the enemy team's windpipe. You know? You start a hogo. Is that choking in Spanish, Justini?
They're the Heimlich maneuver.
It is, okay.
But in all seriousness, it does feel like they just play so well in this kind of environment, and they have the momentum. Every win that they've taken has made them feel better about themselves. It's made them feel more confident in their ideas, and that they've learned a valuable lesson with every series that they've played, and they've applied it to the next series. Like, they are learning as they go along, and that's so cool. And in terms of individual skill, they have some of the best players in the world.
Yeah, you're saying that people are figuring out how good these players are. I think they're also figuring out how good these players are, because when you put them all together, it's been magic. Obviously, the main thing that's been exciting about this roster is the acquisition of more Thai players, so a little bit more language synergy between the lanes, but even beyond that, we even heard from the coach Sunbi. Estini, I don't know, were you able to catch that interview with Sunbi? So he said that formerly on Fnatic with Jabs, and he got super kicked from Fnatic, and Jabs did too, and he was like, I gotta follow my boy Jabs.
He begged to join.
He begged Jabs, please let me go with you. And they have found something truly amazing here on this main event.
Yeah, as a coach, I can say that's the level of trust you need. Is either 100% or it's 0. Half of trust does not work for a coach, because you're gonna come with your ideas. If they don't trust you fully, they will mix ideas, and then it's terrible. You might have 5 correct ideas, but when you bring them all together, your Dota is gonna suck. Maybe you have one wrong idea, but you pursue it so much and you repeat it with 5 players, that's gonna become a good play style. So you need this type of trust that Jabs has with Sambi. That's the magic behind this team.
Yeah, and being able to establish that trust also, because on the Fnatic roster, the team did not find any top 3 finishes that we're seeing here. So how are you able to maintain that trust despite some troubling results at times?
I think this always happens in teams that you have different ideas, and probably Jabs was on the same page as Sambi, and they're probably like, we don't fully trust their ideas,
Sure.
but let's try it out. And then it doesn't work, and they're like, it's time that we try our ideas now. That might have been the issue in Fnatic. Maybe the other players also had a good idea, but when you combine both, terrible. Then your draft doesn't make sense. It's super easy to come up with a draft that makes 0 sense. You just hear all your players in the draft. It's seriously, I need some rules when drafting, like, hey, you can just say when I ask you a question. You just tell me this matchup. And maybe, okay, the captain, you can come up with ideas during the draft, but we all discuss outside, and when it's time, I just ask questions. Otherwise, it becomes such a mess.
Yeah, it's especially comfortable when you have some veteran experience on your team as well. Jenkins Oli is no stranger to this situation. That man has major victories under his belt. This kind of pressure is just another day at work for him.
Yeah, he's a major winner. I mean, he's a major winner. So is Sunbi. Sunbi's won 3 of them. This might be his first as a coach, I believe.
I think that's right, yeah.
And then you have Jabs, who has attended 20 majors. He's one of 7 players in the world who have attended more than 20 majors. Now I think he's the only remaining player that is in that 20 major club, with Shopify being eliminated.
That makes sense, yeah.
So you could argue that he is the most tenured player in terms of number of major attendances in general in the tournament still. So, yeah, this team, I mean, I can understand why they're not crumbling under the pressure. It's like most of them are used to it. And the ones that aren't, Q, for example, this is his first major. The rest of the guys are like, oh, here's how you deal with it. Have this sugar-free beverage in the morning, and you'll be fine. Get some caffeine in your
Sin
system.
Azúcar.
That's right. That's right. They have good suggestions for dealing with the pressure.
Yeah, and on the other side, also some very, very legendary players, which perhaps found the most success during Team Secret with Zai and Nisha Effie, and have been imported to Team Liquid. And though it is kind of crazy to see that despite how long Insania and Mickey and Boxy as well have been in the scene, they have not really been in this situation before. This is one of the best results that these 3 players have ever received.
Yeah, Liquid have been notorious, in the past for performing well online, but not at LAN. But that just broke last year. After their TI results, they had an epic Cinderella story. It's actually very emotional with Matsu's retirement and how well everybody was playing. But afterwards, they mentioned during the last TPC tour that after the TI results, something in them just changed. They started to feel more comfortable, and that kind of mental barrier that was holding them back does not exist anymore. So honestly, with the exception of what happened to Boxy, their position 4, I think that this mentality is going to stay with them for the entire year, and they're just going to have phenomenal results. Like, I would be surprised if this team, this iteration of Liquid, does not make it top 4 at every Valve event this year.
Yeah, 1 year ago, though, I think we would have seen the classic example of the Strangler on the left side of our screen versus the Chokers, because former Team Liquid, I guess even pre-TI, I can't even say pre-Matu, because even the Matu iteration had some questionable results online. The Stockholm Major was a disaster for this Team Liquid roster. Arlington also was very rough.
But you know what it felt like? They were always 1 win away. Like, when they drop out, it's always in a 2-1 series, where they're just 1 win away for things potentially changing for them. So I think how close they were every time last year made them feel so awful. But like I mentioned earlier, they break through. These players feel so confident in this iteration of this team. They feel so good about themselves, and they themselves think they're going to win everything.
I actually know, by the way, I figured out last night why Nisha is one of the best mid laners, if not the best mid laner in the world. If we can get the camera back on him. He's left-handed. He plays with his mouse on the left hand.
And he's from Poland. That's why you have the little Yachty.
That's right. I'm a secret Nisha fan. Well, not secret Nisha.
No, you're a Liquid
I'm a Liquid Nisha fan.
Nisha's always had... Oh my god,
they're skipping... Don't show Mickey.
His right arm is so much skinnier than his left arm because he ain't making sick flicks with his mouse.
That's right.
Is that why?
That's why. That's exactly why. No other reason.
Anyway, back to you, Effie.
Okay. No, so Nisha has always been in debate as the best mid player in the world for a very long time, right? Like it honestly feels like after he left Secret, we can see that he was shouldering that team on his back just based on their results after he left. And I feel like any team that he joins plays better simply because he makes people around him play better. He has that plus 50 passive skill aura that he just applies
You know what
to everyone
Quinn
around
said
him.
about Nisha that's so interesting? He said that Nisha is like simultaneously like one of his favorite mid laners to play against and also one of the worst mid laners to play against because you can kill him and he doesn't play differently. Like he doesn't, it feels like killing him doesn't achieve anything. He just continues playing the lane from a little bit behind, out CS's you, gets ahead again. So it's like a kill on Nisha just doesn't accomplish anything, which is very strange because most mid lanes, it's like if one guy dies, like the game can be over on that moment. Not against Nisha.
Yeah, and Estini, as we are about to approach the draft, give me your 2 heroes for both teams. Give me 1 hero from each team that you are going to have your eye out for. 1 Talon hero and 1 Liquid hero.
Liquid Treant because it enables either a Lash, MP, DP run at them, but Treant is the enabler. And on Talon, MP.
Yes. Not as clear for him.
No, because I think they'll ban. So I'm gonna keep an eye on this first ban. So Puck can go through maybe.
Perfect. You want to look at the first bans, I want to look at the first picks, I want to look at this first game. It's time for Talon Esports versus Team Liquid.
Welcome one and all here to the draft panel for game number 1 between Talon Esports and Team Liquid in the lower bracket final to determine who goes up against GG in the grand finals. My name is Snake, your host for today's proceedings, and I'm joined by a former and current pro, Fear and Ari. Gentlemen, we've got a very intriguing setup between us. Team Liquid, of course, the big story is that they don't necessarily have their full complement. So when we do look at this draft, we have to keep that in mind. Erstwhile though, Ari, Talon Esports, they're just on the come up right now. They're on the up and up. They've got that lower bracket power up. What do you make of how they've been playing and how they've been drafting in particular so far in this tournament?
Well, they look like they've got this lower bracket magic that Liquid had at TI. You don't make the big run through lower bracket. The team goes through a lot of hard games and they feel really confident in each other. So they seem to have this confidence going forwards and they're really improving every game. I think they look really good in particular when they have this melee 4 on Q with this Tusk or Tiny really dictating the pace of the game early to allow their 3 farming cores to shine.
Speaking of Team Liquid, their opponent here, Fear, they have done the one thing which, up until this point, this was suicide for you as a team. You gave them Nature's Prophet, literally guaranteed loss, right? Yep. But this time around, obviously things are a little bit different. We'll see how that shakes out. Ari was just mentioning that Talon often do have Q on his melee supports, Tiny or Tusk. He's played 1 or 2 of these heroes every single game except one. The only game that he played Mirana on, they got demolished by Team Liquid. This is a run back of that upper bracket matchup, so you can see Team Liquid have done their research. They immediately ban out the Tiny. They prioritize that even over and above heroes like Death Prophet, Lina. They're like, that's okay, but we do not want to deal with the Q Tiny.
Yeah, I mean, I think right now a lot of teams are going to realize when they play against Q and how well he's doing this Tusk and Tiny. If you get rid of one of them, he's just going to take the other, right? So I think in this situation, Talon are extremely happy. Now he doesn't even have to play against the Tiny, so he has like the superior roamer in this game. So I think Talon's pretty happy with this. Tusk is also a hero that's also great versus the Nature's Prophet too. And you talked about, NP being a hero that you can't give Liquid. Tree was that hero as of yesterday too, but it lost. So looking like Liquid are mortal now within their drafts here, and Talon are just going to pick up their comfort.
Yep. We get the Snapfire here, which they presumably are going to play for jabs. Ollie can play it as well. Team Liquid, is this the time that we just go for Nature's Prophet Tree and Protector? They did this all throughout the group stage already, and when they were doing that, they looked really, really, really good.
Yeah, well, both teams seem to love this Treant Protector, but it is banned. As a
Oh, is it
reason
banned?
of,
My bad, my
as a
bad.
reason of the tiny ban, though, the Lina has slipped through. Though it would be a bit weird to take Profit plus Lina, so this is quite a strange situation.
Yeah, maybe not this early, right? In the
Yeah.
series yesterday, they got a nice second phase Lina, like 18-pick Lina in the second phase there against Rebellion. That worked out great, but they're not going to pick it now. It wouldn't make much sense. I'm not sure what exactly they would want here because Talon have a pretty open-ended draft here. We've seen the Snap being played in multiple positions. Same with this Tusk. So they can't really clearly identify what they want to do here. I think they just pick a support, round it out, keep the NP open.
Keep the NP open between the multiple roles that they do play it. What supports leap out to us at this point? Team Liquid have played a wide bevy of these. A lot of the sustaining healing supports. I think Undying is probably their best bet, but unfortunately there's already a Snapfire. We have seen Undyings beat out the Snapfire. Is it bad enough, the matchup, that you just cannot take it when the Snap's already in the game?
I think they might take a Clockwork or Undying here. Clockwork could be pretty good here. You cancel the ulti of the Snapfire. You got Cloaks for when there's Tusk Nobles in. Protects the Prophet. We've got Rubik instead.
Yeah,
Really
I
great
mean-
against Snapfire.
Yeah, but another thing to say about this Rubik is that we talk about Liquid, how they made a roster change. Well, they had to change their player, right? Jabs, he has a small hero pool, I'm told, and Rubik is one of those heroes, so I think this is something that they're just kind of prioritizing for the player to make sure Jabs is as comfortable as he can be in this game.
Actually, let's talk about this Rubik hero, because coming into the main event, he was picked a lot in a lot of games, wasn't winning as much. He seems to have fallen off the face of the earth. What do you make of this, Ari? Why aren't teams utilizing this Rubik hero a little bit more?
I think teams are learning how to draft against the Rubik. You can sometimes take drafts that make the Rubik feel really bad. Like, let's say you take Clock Darkseer combo on 16-17, and now the Rubik has no spells to steal, and it feels like a really bad Rubik game. And people are also expecting the Rubik shard to save people rather than being surprised by it. They don't fully commit and then get surprised, and then they get team wiped because the guy got saved by the Rubik shard. But here it's really great because you already see the Snapfire, and this Scatter Blast level 4 is some crazy damage when you have Rubik.
Maybe you can steal the Kisses at some point too, which will be not as easy to do, but we've seen it before, and it is definitely very powerful.
There's also a possibility of stealing a Warrior's Kick at some point in the game, which
Yeah.
is really strong with the cast range from Arcane Supremacy.
I mean, a good Rubik game is a good Rubik game for sure, but normally you need to have a specialist on the hero. You need to have someone that's very confident and comfortable. Jabs, hopefully today he comes out feeling a lot more confident and comfortable. I know he's put into a hard situation here, but Rubik really is one of those flashy type of heroes that where you do want to make a lot of plays happen.
Yeah, you certainly want to make sure that this hero is effective in the game, not just being a passenger, wants to be as active as humanly possible. Speaking of activity, usually the most active player, not just in this particular setup of the game, but across the tournament is Mikoto. Does quite a lot for the team in the mid game. Obviously Q just covers most of the early game for them. Let's actually talk about Q for a second while they're still looking towards the second phase of bans, as we see Lina being removed finally, thank God. Ari, one thing that Q has done really, really well, right? This Talon team, outside of Ari, in the first 10 minutes are fairly static, right? Outside of Q, sorry. And he moves a lot. For some reason, he's just everywhere, it feels like, on the map, right? And despite the fact that everybody knows that this is his playstyle, he keeps getting away with it. How is this possible?
Yeah, well, this happens because both the 23 Savage and Jabs on the side lanes are very static. They like to farm a lot, so someone needs to cover the early game, and this is Q. And every game, he's rotating across every lane, getting every kill. And what I really hope to see from Liquid this game is to punish the side lanes and kill the side lanes when Q is rotating from them. Kill Jabs, kill 23 Savage, and really punish these rotations when it happens. And they should be able to expect that he'll do this because he does it every game. He's roaming across the whole map, getting kills every game.
Something else that they also sort of do every game here. Talon is one of the few teams that is able to play dual melee supports, and they do it reliably, and they don't seem to have any fear. The conventional wisdom that we used to have is have a melee 4 position, or melee 5 position, have a sort of range 4, or vice versa. They just upend it. They do whatever the hell they want. And it also just keeps working. They do weird things like Omni Fire, Elder Titan Fire, game after game for Oli, and it still manages to get them the results.
Yeah, he'll play a tree too if it's in the pool. I think some of these heroes do have some type of overlap that he wants to play like a team fighter. Like when they played a certain lineup yesterday with the Tusk, they had like a Warlock. We could see that happen again, but the hero I'm really looking for Talon, they played against a Nature's Prophet and a Rubik just yesterday, and they ended up picking a Spectre for it. So we could see that potentially come out for Savage in the second phase as well, or I doubt it'll make it all the way to the last stage here, but let's see if they're going to do something similar with like some Warlock Spectre from the other day.
They might go for like some TB here, Ari. I see that they've taken out the Zeus and the Drow Ranger. How do you feel about this?
Yeah, TB looks really strong here, but same for the Spectre. It's just a little awkward to take on 16-17 because the 18 counter pick on Liquid could really counter him in lane and slow down the game, but it is a really good game for the Spectre.
Warlock. I mean, they ran this before with the Tusk, they won with it, and I think this is a team that's rolling off momentum, and they've kind of found their hero picks that they really like, and we haven't seen a Ricky in a while.
This 18 Spectre looks really strong right now, especially with the Warlock.
This was the Chinese special, right? Spectre, Warlock, pretty much every single game with tons of sustain. Presumably now you definitely are going to be playing the Jab, Snapfire. He's going to buy it, Gregorian Greaves. A lot of sustain I'm seeing. A lot of difficulty killing the Spectre. The puck does help though.
Yeah.
We also make these early moves around the map and make sure that before the Spectre becomes unkillable, you can actually bring it down.
I mean, I wanted to ask Ari a question about this. We haven't seen a lot of Ricky nowadays. It's kind of like fell off and not been favored. Why do you think that is? Why do you think we haven't seen that much Ricky in this playoffs?
Well, I think people were overrating this hero because they have, bad experiences in pubs, and when it's like an early possible hero, people aren't sure how to deal with it properly.
Yeah.
But as this tournament progressed, people have gotten a lot better at dealing with this hero. The weakness in the first 15 minutes of the game, the weakness in team fight, the weakness in lack of damage. Teams are punishing this. They're picking early game, strong team fight, and just running at you before you come online with the shard.
All right.
There's the Spectre.
I mean, I didn't mean to predict their draft here. I didn't think they'd put them in the exact order, but I was just going off what they liked in the past. But they went exactly for it with the Spectre. It looks great. The Warlock, it's a classic combination. They did not run these two heroes on the same team yesterday. They were different games, right? So the one thing you will have to be a little afraid about when you run this, and why we don't see it a lot, is it's a kind of a slow build-up. Really ult dependent until the Spectre gets to the Aghanim Scepter. They will have a slow timing here where if, Liquid does play a bit faster, a little more tempo, they do have the NP, they do have the puck, they might be able to punish it.
Yeah, this is also another different approach to dealing with the Ricky, is the fact that the Spectre needs a clean early game without much pressure to farm his items, get his Blade Mail, he's really good against these heroes. But the Ricky cannot pressure in these first 15 minutes, and his lane, the Spectre should free top against the Ricky. So the Spectre should have a really nice time in the early game, which alleviates the common problem of this hero, which is a weak early game.
Let's see, his final phase of bans here. We're looking for mid-heroes for the side of Talon. We have something from Makoto to play. For Team Liquid, as per usual, we're at the end of the draft and we're still not certain if it's Zaya playing the Nature's Prophet or if it's going to be Mickey and there's going to be a different hero to round out the draft. Talon, of course, they have the response pick on the 24th, so Team Liquid have to show their hand first. What steps out to you here, Fia? What would you like to see? What's missing in their draft right now from Liquid that you want to see covered in the final pick?
For Liquid here, I mean, I'm going to imagine that they most likely want a Zai hero that can pressure the Spectre harder than an NP can. So there's a lot of things he could do. I mean, I personally am a fan of Tide against Spectre. Some people go both ways there, but you kind of get a free lane, gives them some tempo, they can play a bit faster, but they're kind of low on the damage department. Spectre's just not a hero you really want to take into the late game. So I think they want to play tempo. They want to slow down the Spectre's farm. The one thing Shopify Rebellion did not do in the last game is they gave Spectre a completely free lane. And all of a sudden there was a Blade Mail, there was an Aghanims at 17 minutes in the game. So some type of hero that can just slow down Spectre's farm.
I think an Underlord could be really good here.
Right, yeah,
the
that's
Tide ban is kind of similar to the Tide, but this hero has a lot more base damage and you can deny every creep from the Spectre. Because Spectre already has low damage, and you're reducing it with the passive on the Underlord, and you're just denying every single creep from him, pressuring him a lot, even with a Rick Laner in Ricky. So I think this could be the time for an Underlord, even though it's not a common hero in this patch.
Yeah, apparently I'm blind, and Tide is banned, yes.
That's last
Very
ban.
good.
Underlord would be nice here. We have seen Saberlight play Underlord in the main event so far. The only one to be able to do so. Team Liquid, if they do go for it, it's also kind of a free lane for Underlord, right? Just as because Spectre Warlock is not going to pressure you as Underlord, at all. You just chill.
Exactly. You could even leave Underlord 1v2 and he'll probably win this lane just with damage and sustain.
Oh, alright. Alright, talk to us about this. You have a Lycan player on your team. Would this be the kind of game where he's calling out for a Lycan? I don't see that much wave here from the side of Talon. Yet again, we speak about this lane being fairly lackluster on the side of Talon on the top side of the map. So do you like this Lycan for this game?
Yeah, this is a very Lycan game. It's kind of similar to the Underlord in the fact that you have much more damage with the Wolves compared to the Spectre, and you're going to get every CS in lane. The Spectre cannot pressure you at all. Warlock Spectre, they're not doing anything to you. You're getting every last hit. You're going to have a really fast Talon Dom, and you can really take over the game early and shut them down before they come online. And also, it coincides with the 15-minute timing of Ricky. You have Helm Dom, Shard, you're running over the whole map, killing everyone. This could be their plan to shut down this slow lineup from Talon.
So what do you want to see here from Makoto to be able to stop some of this aggression from Liquid and ensure that this push that will come from their side with Nature's Prophet and Lycan? Which hero do you want to see be able to deal with the mid lane against Puck and make sure that they can actually compete in the mid game?
It's banned, unfortunately, which is the Kunkka, so I'm really trying to find a hero that could be good versus Puck. I thought Pango, maybe they'll do it, but then you're playing it into Puck. Maybe they'll do it anyway, but Night Stalker, is that... What are we going to get here? Snap support, maybe? Tusk mid?
Or Snap mid and Tusk support, but...
Yeah, I mean, I'm curious if we're going to put the Night Stalker, unless they're going to do an NS mid, which I haven't seen in a very long time. Very interesting pick.
They're thinking about it. Jabs is having the conversation. All right.
I mean,
Nakota's
that
great.
hero is really good versus Puck in the game with the silence. You get the shard for the Helm Dom later on to kind of shut that down. So they're trying to have that 15-minute timing into them there. But Team Liquid, they still have a very fast draft, like double Zoo. Nice playmaking potential here against the slow Spectre. So Liquid are in a situation where they're going to have to play pretty fast and get a snowball. And Talon are right where they want to be. They love playing this slow to game.
Also, one thing to note is we got the nice Dogger shard against the Lycan creep.
Yeah.
This is one way of slowing down this timing. You just eat the creep, and now he's got nothing to work with for a while.
And I like the tossed mid here. I think it's really good. It's going to give him the tempo. Right when Q hits level 6, we're going to see him with his ultimate. It's going to be really important what these supports can do with their first ultimates.
First ultimates are going to be deeply, deeply important for a game like this. And of course, the first 10 minutes of the game is probably where Liquid want to get their side of victory. Right now, though, in the lower bracket final, Team Liquid aren't just playing for themselves, they're playing for Boxy, but Talon Esports playing for the entirety of the Southeast Asian region. Let us find out which power-up is stronger here in the lower bracket final as we send it over to the amazing Avo and the wise Winter. Take it away, gentlemen, for the lower bracket final.
Thank you, Snare, for that pass. We have the lower bracket final between Team Liquid and Talon Esports. And for this particular game, we brought in the expert in C, Winter Dota himself. How you doing, my friend? How are you seeing Talon today?
Talon is going to have a great day. The C fans are going to have a great day. Everybody from C will be proud today.
Talon Bolé?
Talon Bolé, let's go, man.
Let's go. Tell me about the strength of this draft here compared to Liquid. What do you like? What do you don't like?
I like the fact that they have a very, very all-rounded draft. They have some good early game. They have some good laning phase. Nice Soccer is going to stabilize the game for the Spectre to carry the game later. Overall, they have everything. That's what I want to see in the draft. I tick all the boxes, I'm happy.
Okay, let's look at the Liquid draft, right? What is the strength? What are the weaknesses here? Do they tick all the boxes?
They're kind of all-in-ish with the Zoo, the Nature's Prophet, and the Lycan. They're going to have to play a very, very high-paced game if they want to shut down this Spectre. Like Talon have shown that this Spectre can be a very, very strong hero later. And in the mid-game, he's going to be there to help his team with the Shadow Staff. He's going to be there to defend the towers. He's not exactly going to be that AFK farming carry that we get so accustomed to when you talk about Spectre.
Okay. We have to talk about the elephant in the room. Liquid obviously playing with a stand-in, they're not playing with Boxy. Are these early game drafts better with a stand-in because you don't have to take the game late enough? You don't have to deal with that late game synergy?
Yeah, you can say that. The game gets a lot more straightforward. You hit your timings, you grow up together, but you have to survive the laning phase. So you have to do well in the laning phase. I feel like Liquid has a draft where they need to have a better start. You want to snowball with the Nature's Prophet, the Lycan, you want to run at them. You don't want the Spectre to farm too much, you have to have a good start. If the Spectre has a good start, you're going to be in trouble.
You did say Jabs, though, had a pretty solid laning phase in the last game that you saw him against Gaming Gladiators, right?
Yeah.
So let's see how he does with the Ricky. The 15-minute timing is going to be the important one. We'll be looking here, and let's see how that Ricky Lycan lane can survive.
Ricky Lycan is a bit, I don't know, it's a bit iffy, you know, the lane, you have double melee. I guess you're supposed to just pull creeps, but you're against a Spectre plus Warlock. Maybe it's okay, you can just play the lane head-on, and we see like Jabs trying to contest the bottom rune, but he's going to be pushed away by the Treants. Not much you can do there. So 2 apiece for Liquid and Talon.
Yeah. Do you want to comment on the Spectre Warlock lane, right? Very defensive lane, passive, you could say, right? So what do you do when they pull? Like, what's the idea? When the Ricky tries to get the creep wave, do you just play the creep shenanigans and do you pull your same wave onto it, or how do you counter this strat? Because you can't really kill them, honestly.
I'm not sure if they need to pull.
Actually, it's going to be Rubik.
It's actually, yeah, Rubik and Lycan.
So that's even worse.
They are strong. I think they are stronger in this lane then. They don't have to pull, they just need to focus on last hitting, get their levels. They should be able to out-CS the Spectre and Warlock with the walls. I mean, I haven't seen this matchup before, so I'm not entirely sure, but it feels like the Rubik plus Lycan should be able to do good in this lane.
Okay. And how does the Warlock Spectre, like, it's been a while since we've seen this match, and we saw Warlock with the Lima already. Are you a believer in this pick? There's only 2 teams that's picked at this tournament, PSG LGD and Talon now.
No. No.
You're with the TSM guys, and this pick is pretty bad as Ollie, by the way. Gets chased down by the Wolves. Rubik is also chasing him down, but Ollie does have the healing of the Shadow Ward. He'll be fine for now.
Yeah, he's gonna have I feel like he's gonna have a rough laning phase with the Wolves constantly harassing him and the Rubik spamming Fate Bolt. You can't really trade with the Rubik. The Rubik just out-trades you with Fate Bolt. So you have to try to dodge him and try to pull some creeps. And he got the DNI on the Sentry Ward, so that's going to be good for him. If he's able to pull waves, that would be very, very helpful for the Spectre. And in the mid lane, we see a Puck against Tusk matchup, which I feel should be okay for the Tusk. I think both heroes are going to farm. Is going to come down to rune control. Whoever gets help maybe from the support or the Nature's Prophet. We've seen yesterday when Talon had the Nature's Prophet, he's constantly trying to help the mid laner secure runes or get the first blood, get some kills. So it'll be interesting to see if Liquid is going to do the same.
Right. In this matchup, since the Tusk is just supposed to shove lanes, does do fine against the puck? The early levels maybe a little bit harder for him?
He should be fine because I feel like he has more base damage than the Puck, so
Okay.
yeah, he should be able to survive it. And if Puck actually makes a mistake, the Tusk can actually kill the Puck. So I would say that the Puck has to be much more careful. You know, you can't be too greedy in using all your spells to get last hits because you have very little armor. You know, if the Tusk traps you in the shot and you don't have a lot of HP, you have, let's say you have half HP, then you might actually die.
Continuing on the Tusk, we've seen two different types of builds from the Tusk this tournament. It's been mainly either Desolator or Ags, and it seems like it's almost region specific. C loves the Ags build immediately after the Blink Dagger, like Blink, BKB, and then Ags, and then the European teams actually build Desolator much more so. Which has been your preference? Do you think Mikoto's going to still go for the Ags build this game? Is it useful?
The question is, do you feel like your draft needs more damage? And I look at their draft, I don't really feel they need a lot more damage from the Tusk. They have the Warlock, Fatal Bonds, you have the Snapfire, Mortimer's Case. They all do a lot of damage. I feel like that's not really that important for him. What's important is the initiation. I feel like you cannot delay the blink too much on the Tusk. Maybe you go Falcon, then you get the blink, and then you're gonna need BKB as well because you are playing against a Puck and a Riki. So you cannot be too greedy on your either build.
Good. Look at the final lane down bottom is Jabs. Liquid Jabs. This is going to be a fun one. We can call him Jabba for the rest of the game because that's going to be his in-game motto. We know he's Jabs with two Bs, but you know, at least in the analysis so people don't get confused.
I think he's trying to help us out by putting his tag as Jabba.
Yeah, he's a good lad. He did tell us in the room that was what he was doing. How do you see this lane going? The Thai Jabs is doing very well for himself on the Night Stalker for now. Is this supposed to be a difficult matchup pre-5?
Not really though. I think Night Stalker has a very, very easy time here. You have a lot of armor, so you can trade and you can stay in the lane and take some poke damage from the Treants. You don't really mind. You're just waiting for the night time to kick in, and then you can start pressuring the Nature's Prophet. That's when the Nature's Prophet, he's gonna feel threatened in the lane, and he's gonna be constantly having to play very, very defensive. Or at least the supports have to stay in the lane to help.
Yeah, but your supports here are what, Ricky? Like, what is he gonna do to stop the Night Stalker? Smokescreen? Hope that Nature's Prophet stays in place?
That's true. Ricky, you cannot do anything against a Night Stalker.
Top lane there. I don't know why I'm even casting. There's a Shadow Ward. There's a Shadow Ward. The Spectre now ran out, but you still have Infused Raindrops. Another Shadow Ward here. Last time we did see a little bit of an upheaval build for Ollie as well. Ari was telling us in the panel that some Warlocks are maxing upheaval because they really value that. But this lane,
not this game though. I feel. If you look at their heroes, who are you actually trying to slow? If you're skilling up hero, it's mostly just for the damage, the team fight, and I feel like you kind of want to use Fatal Bonds in tandem with the Mortimer's Kiss and the Haunt. I feel like that would actually benefit the team a lot more. But we'll see what he decides to do here. So far so good for the Spectre's lane. The Warlock's getting a pull-off, so he's able to get some good amount of last hits. So far, just 2 CS behind the Lycan.
Down bottom, it is nighttime. Jabs is fighting against Jabs, but Liquid Jabs is getting away for now. Jabba is going to be fine, does have a high base armor. They hit him with a Scatter Blast, they're coming to him with a Void. Now, thanks to Sprat, he breaks it with a Quelling Blade. First blood will be going to Talon Jabs, but the body blocks from Nature's Prophet Treants will actually bring him down. So here we see Mika getting a nice little counter kill, hoping for the high 5, doesn't get it. Thai Jabs a little bit tilted. Has to kill his doppelganger here.
It's okay, he's happy, he got the first blood. I feel like it's worth it for him. And right now, Nature's Prophet is halfway to level 6. Once you see the Nature's Prophet with level 6, we're going to see some action soon on the map. Nisha is already level 6, but don't think he has much kill threat on the Tusk so far. He's going to need like the Nature's Wrath from the MP and probably one of the other supports to rotate in. 6 minutes soon, so we'll start to see the game heat up a bit with the runes spawning right now.
And this is the first rune spawn with the Dream Core already. Up to the high gun he goes. He still has vision. Mikoto though, how are they going to jump him? Acknowledge he's still quite tanky. Bottom, Jabba's waiting for that rune. And they're going to be able to... They're calling him Jabba the Hutt in Spanish. And he's going to be able to secure that for the puck.
Yeah, that's pretty important for him. He has call on cooldown right now, but it's okay. 50 seconds cooldown, the haste is still there. He'll be able to play very aggressive soon. Spectres, not level 6 yet. Game is still pretty pretty slow. Everybody's trying to get their levels up as soon as possible. Lycan's 5.5. He's on his way to his Helm of the Dominator, 600 gold more. So we're gonna see bot lane though. Nature's Wrath popped.
Yeah, jabs. Now stuck in the smoke screen. Oh, that Wrath of Nature dealt so much damage.
Shit.
He just disintegrated. They bring back poor Q as well, and he's gonna die. Okay, Liquid.
That's so good for Liquid. They're able to kill the Night Stalker at night. That is the last thing you want happening to you as a Night Stalker at night, dying. And he's even going for a very, very greedy build, you know, like rushing the armlet. So when you're dying like this, it actually hurts your progression so much.
He actually even went for the, he doesn't have the boots yet at all.
Yeah, no.
No brown boots, so a little bit slower there. The body blocks are really cancelling him. I'd rather Nature level 1, man.
He might have actually lived if he had boots.
You think so?
Yeah, he might have been able to dodge the body blocks, but it is what it is. Mid lane,
mid lane, another
coil
kill
to the Night Stalker.
And jabs, he can't catch a break. They want to defend their namesake. Their analyst is guiding these calls.
Wow, Liquid is just bringing their A game here. They figured out how to draft, how to pick heroes around the stand-in, and everything's really working out for them so far. Pressuring the Talon mid tier 1 tower. Q has to come defend the tower with Oli. This is not looking good for Talon this early game. This Night Stalker is not a hero you want to have falling behind.
That's true. But let's look at the rest of the team though. We do still have Mikoto actually farming decently, right? The Spectre traded evenly in that lane. What's the power spike they could play around? Is this Tusk going to be able to gank soon? What's his ganking potential like with a snap for him?
They have to try to set up something very soon with the Haunt. That would be ideal for them.
Okay.
But so
level 6 on Sector already.
Yeah, but so far because the Night Stalker's having a terrible game. If Night Stalker he's say level 5.5, he's close to 6, I feel like the play should come faster, but because Night Stalker's game has been severely hampered, then the moves are going to become harder to make, because then you're lacking a core to do damage, and you normally want to rotate to the off-laner's lane to try and pressure and get the tower, and the Spectre haunts into that gank, but that's not going to happen so easy.
Okay, they're still going to go for the smoke. Perhaps you're right, and they're going to go for that off-lane play. There's only a Ricky sitting underneath there, though, because we do see Mickey has already retired into the trees, into the jungle. And that kill on Ricky is okay.
Yeah, but they need to open the map, so no matter what, they have to make this play. So probably Ricky's going to die here. That's okay for Liquid.
And Walrus Punch, Snowball, Jabba.
Blink Strike?
He does the tricks of the trade. Nothing to Blink Strike to. They commit the Haunt as well, because they want 23 Savage down here, apparently.
Yeah, but this is good for Liquid, because Talon had to expend so many resources to kill the Ricky. And right now, look at the map. Liquid has the whole map. They're going to secure the tier 1 at top. Lycan's going to get the tower. He still has Shapeshift up, so they are probably going to shove this wave at top now and move towards middle with the Shapeshift. This is going to look really, really hard for Talon to hold. The supports are so low level at this point. They don't have their ultis. How are they going to defend this? This is going to be a very, very big problem for Talon.
Lycan is looking quite strong right now to take that tier 1. Notice to mid, but they need some help. Mikoto will be the person from Talon that leads the fray. He gets Telekinesis into a Dream Coil. Wrath of Nature as well. Mikoto's running low. He has a Shadow Word healing him, but it's not going to be enough. It won't. He's going to die.
The Big Bad Wolf is coming.
Big Bad Wolf. He's found Ollie. He wants to kill the Master, and he's going to commit to this. They lose the Centaur, but Zai, he knows he can get this kill and run away. Body blast from Q in the trees, but Q off trying to run away. They have to be careful. Mickey's nearby as well. They have vision. They're going to dive him. Q's dead as well.
Oh, this is not looking good for Talon. Liquid playing to their advantage with the Zoo lineup, pressuring the map, controlling. This is the problem when you have a Spectre and you're losing your other lanes, your other side lanes. You have a lot of trouble helping your team. You don't really offer anything apart from if the gank is already successful, you come in with the Horn, you secure the last hit. That's about it, you know. You're not going to offer your team much at this point of the game. He's going to be getting a Blade Mail in a bit, but this is going to be looking like Talon, they have to survive the next 5 to 10 minutes somehow. They need a miracle.
And last time we saw them pick up a Blade Mail, it was also against a Leshrac, and that was against Shopify, of course. A lot more impact in that game. This game, Blade Mail, it's just okay.
I guess it helps the Spectre farm, so yeah.
Helps the Spectre farm. Is there any uncontrollable damage here they should be wary about? Perhaps Nature's Prophet with his Wrath of Nature, maybe a little bit extra damage, the puck.
Yeah, but the problem is still the Night Stalker having such a bad game. He has to somehow be able to get his game back together and help his team. You know, the Spectre needs the Night Stalker in the game. So far, we are 11 minutes in, but the Night Stalker has no contribution whatsoever towards the game. He has no boots. A courier died, I think, with the boots in it. Wow, that is actually terrible news for the Night Stalker. He has his ultimate up, but there's nothing he can do right now. Like he has to chill and wait for the boots to be delivered. And yeah, this is not looking good for Talon. They have to find a way.
And you know what, Winter? The Ricky as well will get a shard at the same time as Second Knight hits. So even that Second Knight, you'll be fighting into enemy power spike.
That is very worrisome, and Liquid once again another pick up on the support, which is trying to get his level 6. And Nisha is there to bully him with the Nature's Prophet. Liquid just playing all their cards correctly, like even placing such a deep and nice Observer Ward here to scout the Ancients. So if the Spectre tries to farm the Ancients with Lamia, he's gonna be under Liquid's vision all the time. This is just some amazing Dota from Liquid so far.
Honestly, the early game has been so clean by them. But Talon, they're known for the late game prowess. They're known for the long games.
This is not looking good, Alvaro. No matter how well you can play the late game, but if you lose the early game too much, there won't be a late game for you. They just won't.
Okay, there's a little bit of fear for Talon. We'll see how they choose to respond here. For now, just getting their items, probably waiting for that 15-minute timing. They'll have to play our Night Stalker.
They have to try to hold. I'm not sure if they can, but the Roche fight is going to be key. Like I feel like Liquid's going to look at Roshan fairly soon if they get one pick off on anyone. And yeah, I mean they have to try to get level 6. Ollie's still not level 6. They need this rock for the Roshan fight. This is very, very troublesome. He has to try to find a way to get level 6.
The tome has already been given to someone else as well. Ollie's just desperately trying to stop experience mid without revealing himself. He is a Warlock though, so he'll push with upheaval, which is a little bit sad. He's been pinged. He has been pinged. There's Nisha nearby. Double damage first. Double damage auto attacks first. Waiting with that. They don't even want to commit the Dream Coil here. They know they don't have to. Wrath of Nature will actually finish him off. That is actually a big kill because they don't have Rock for Roche.
Yeah, Lycan is offering up. This is really bad. I feel like Liquid can just choose to go for Roche anytime they want to. They have all the tools they need to. The map is very well controlled by the supports. Look at what they're doing. They're even farming the enemy Ancients. This is just very, very good play from Liquid. They're utilizing every bit of advantage they get and just squeezing everything out of the map.
Absolutely starving a Talon that is desperate to find some farm elsewhere. A Night Stalker that hasn't really seen much impact. A little bit reminiscent of the Dawnbreaker game against Shopify Rebellion.
Yeah. I mean, it's just really, really hard for him.
Okay,
Jabs.
Dark Ascension. There's a Haunt as well. They're going for the Just Prophet, and they are going to get the kill. That's the impact Jabs was looking for. And it's going to work well. Jabba is the next target here. Tricks the trade first. It's going to be ignored, but he does have the Blink Strike. Insane trying to cover his escape. He does get voided, but Insane sees the opportunity, steals the void, and he'll show Night Stalker that it does indeed hurt.
Yeah, that is actually a pretty good trade. I would favor Liquid for that trade, even though they lost the carry for the Night Stalker because of how. Okay, maybe right now not so much, but they had to use Darkness for that. That's a pretty big deal. I feel like they should just rush right now. They should just go to the rush.
Okay. But on the other hand, Talon is in a desperate position where the kill and the carry is something they have to just commit for.
Yeah,
right?
They have no choice. They have absolutely no choice in that situation.
Ollie in the middle lane.
He
finally got his level 6.
Oh
so
my
it's
God.
okay. He's fine to die right now. At least he has the Warlock Rock. That Chaotic Offering is ready, but Liquid has used the Shapeshift. Does this mean Shapeshift into Roche now? Do you take advantage of this? Do you wait it out?
I feel they should just get Roche though. I'm not sure why they are not actually trying. They don't feel confident enough there. I feel like they are choosing to secure more farm on the map because if you look at how the map is positioned right now, bot lane and top lane are pushed towards Liquid's side, so they feel like they want to deal with it. And I think that's the right choice. You don't want to waste all those efficient farm on the map. You don't want to give Talon too much because I feel like Roshan is Liquid's Roshan anyway. They should choose the best time to do the rush without giving Talon too much space to farm.
And right now, since they're choking him in farm, I don't think it's that concerning. We do also have Ricky Shard online.
Time to fight. There's a smoke. Talon is saying, enough of this. We have our ultis up. Oli has finally gotten his level 6.
It's nighttime as well.
30 seconds to darkness though.
That's a Spectre. Blade Mail immediately from 23 Savage. Sleeping Dart will hit him. Just stop him for a second. Jazz playing aggressively. There's the Void. Slowing down side a little bit. But that's not enough of initiation. Mikoto hiding in the trees. Does he have a blink yet? He will go in with a snowball. That's going to catch the puck and they're going to kill him immediately. Nisha's dead. Thanks to a crippling Fury. Couldn't jaunt away. Insania in a similar position. That's going to be the second death for Liquid. The rest retreat. They can't void Mika in time.
Big plays, man. That's a very, very big play. That puck kill was so big for Talon. That's going to give them time to farm, time to recuperate. Now they don't really have to worry about the Roshan for say a minute or two, and they are able to just go and farm and get the map back. This is so crucial that they actually held that area, Props to Talon, but Liquid has to try to find a timing. Again, I'm just emphasizing this Roche. They have to find an opportunity to get Roshan and to keep the ball rolling. They have this 5-6K lead, but if you don't get the ball rolling and you're playing against Spectre, you're going to be in trouble later.
Some other analysts have told me that the first Roche is just not valued these days as much as it used to be.
But they have to get the Roche to control the map. And you don't want to lose a fight because the enemy has Spectre. Spectre is pretty decent at killing off Roche with Desolate. You don't want that to happen to you.
Right, so what matters is that they don't let the Roche for the enemy more so than the use of the Aegis for themselves.
Yeah. The second Roche is going to be very, very crucial. We see a Sleeping God on Mikoto. He has a blink. He actually rushed the blink without even getting Falcon Blade. So I think that's very, very good that he reads that his team needs him to be that initiating hero. They are not going to have time for the Tusk to play more farm-oriented and allow the enemy team to just take the map. So this is a very good decision from him. He's rushing the BKB next. Yep. That's also really, really important. He needs to be the frontliner, and let's see if he can actually get the BKB before the Roche fight.
And the other person who's also getting a blink, Winter, is going to be this Night Stalker Jabs. He is on Puck duty. They realize Crippling Fear plus Tusk, Puck cannot survive that, and at least for a while. What is the solution for Puck? Do you just immediately BKB? Is he going for Kai Sun?
Stuff. Usually you get 4 stuff.
Oh, 4 stuff.
Yeah,
okay.
But you don't get it right away. You get it maybe after your second item. That's normally what I see players do. And
so you don't want to get
it
4 stuff?
Yeah, you don't want to get it too early because it ruins your game as a Puck. You want to get all the other core items, your Blink, your Witchblade, maybe your Kaya Sanj.
Okay. But in between, he's just going to be vulnerable to this, right?
Yeah, he has to rely on his team. I feel like especially the Lycan, he needs the Lycan to go in, scout the team fights. If he doesn't see the Night Stalker, he should be very, very careful of his positioning. Or you can just call the Night Stalker because Night Stalker doesn't have a BKB yet. So if you see him first, you get the coil on the Night Stalker, then you don't have to worry about that.
Quite a fast BKB for the MP on Mickey. He now is ready to perhaps fight a little bit more freely. Won't have to suffer the Mortimer's Kisses, but still has to be wary of that Walrus Punch and Chaotic Offering. It's not like they have bad control when people have BKBs.
Yeah. So right now, what are they trying to do? They're still trying to... I feel like they're not very sure what they should be doing. They've been moving around top to mid, moving just up and down. Now they are running into the enemy jungle triangle with a smoke. But there's 2 Treants currently scouting and blocking the spawns there. That's very nice play from Mike, making sure that the Spectre doesn't get to farm the Ancients. And Spectre seems like he's going to be in trouble. He's daggered. Oh my god, they have vision on him.
They do have vision. He's going to use Haunt immediately. Where did he go? They got a Spectre. There we go. Trying to TP. There's no stuns, but is there enough damage?
Wow,
he gets away.
That is so important that he doesn't die there if Talon wants to have a chance in the Roshan fight.
They even forced a shapeshift there. Now they go for a cookie play with Mortimer's Kisses. In goes Mikoto. And they're going to turn this around. Actually getting the kill on a shapeshifted Lycan.
Yeah, Talon just once again showing their prowess, even though they didn't get a very good start, they're somehow able, all the time, they find a way, they find a way to counter the gank, they find a way to survive, they find a way to farm on the map, they find a way to hold the towers, and yeah, just Talon just doing their magic once again.
Now, this is why they can always play these greedy lineups, man. This is how they get away with it. Yeah, it's called Mikoto, Winter. It's just Mikoto.
Yeah, but then again, you have to think about how Liquid actually kind of messed up the gank. They were rushing. The dagger was thrown out by the Rubik a little too quickly.
Okay, they got the puck too. Okay, the cookie missed. They have a scatter blast. They don't counter that properly. Q is now in trouble. He's now silenced. Body block. He's dead. In fact, Liquid continue this. They want more. They want another support. The Warlock. They stole the cookie. That's going to stun the Warlock and Knife. And Dark Ascension is not actually that successful at killing anyone. But at least the Night Stalker is not going to die. Mikoto comes in trying to finish up this kill. But a quick phase shift. And John from Nisha will save him.
Sure, this is a time for Roche, right? Night Stalker pop his ulti. They got 2 kills on the supports. Even Kisses, not ready yet. Okay, they're going to the Roche, finally.
Okay. Is the Roche play you've wanted this whole time, Winter? Are they safe to take it? There's no Kisses? There is no
wall
Haunt.
of rock though. But I don't think they have enough. There's no Haunt. The only thing they have is the wall of rock. I don't think they can actually try to contest it. Maybe they're going to try to deal with the Tusk. He has Blink. Are they trying to do that?
Okay. No. He's very far. They're just going to let the first Roche go.
Yeah, that's sensible, I don't think they should try to risk anything and lose any more heroes and fall further behind. They have to try to keep scaling on the Spectre. He has completed his Aghanim Scepter, so that's going to allow them to get pickoffs. Pickoffs is going to be the most important thing that they need to focus on. They have to try to get kills delay the game.
Yes, killing the Ricky. That's going to start, but the Dream Coil does catch a Tusk. What else do they have here to stop him? Apparently telekinesis, but the upheaval is annoying them. Now with the rock.
Oh, here comes Mickey.
It's going to be Mickey from behind the Gleipnir. They're committing for Mikoto, but he doesn't have a Quelling Blade in time. They will have to lose jabs there, as Mickey trying to go slowly up to the high ground, making sure they keep that distance. Mikoto went back in just to die. BKB TP from Mickey. Now they're back to consistent, patient Liquid, playing this just on the nice edge here.
Yeah, they're gonna
that play by Insit. Oh no, that's Nish is fine. They have no more stuns. They have a Warlock. That's not gonna do anything.
Yeah, they're gonna claim the tier 2 at top. That's gonna allow them outpost control and probably around 75-80% of the map. Right now, Talon only has this triangle, the Ancients area, and they have to try to send somebody to push out the lanes and die. You know, I feel like if they don't do that, they're gonna have very little farm to spare on the map, and somebody has to be the sacrificial lamb to allow the team to continue scaling.
Who is going to be the sacrificial lamb here?
It's probably Snapfire.
Okay. Q has been a hugely impactful hero or player for this team, particularly on his tiny. But this game on the Snapfire, he hasn't had the chance to be able to make those plays.
Yeah, he's on a very, very different hero. Usually he's on the initiating hero, but they're going to try to smoke here. They're mech on the Snapfire, they have their ultimates ready, Dark Accession ready, they have the Mortimer's Kiss.
Javis smells some couriers, that's what he's going for here. He's learned from the Matthew plays.
Yeah, ignore the Rubik.
Ignore the Rubik? Nope, they're not.
Alright, nope.
It's a kill.
A kill is a kill, I guess.
Yeah, but it is quite a... I mean, he's happy to tank that smoke.
Yeah. And Jabba is just doing annoying Ricky things, trying to kill the career. They're gonna find Nisha.
And they do have a Shadow Step as well, so Nisha will lose Aegis. Crippling Fear though. It's run out.
Cookie, can they time the cookie?
Can they do it? Q's gonna try. Oh, that was so close. Blink just in time from Nisha. Chasing after him, he will jump to the orb. They're lacking stuns. They can't catch him anymore. Ice Shot at least to give some vision. Jab still chasing after him. Now, the smoke screen stopping the Tusk from always punching him as well. Nisha will get away.
That is bad. They had to spend so much to try and get the puck there.
Nisha, yeah, clap for Nisha. Everyone's so proud of this man.
Liquid is gonna just get full reign of the game right now. Talon has expanded all their big ultimates. This is not looking good. They have to try to push the creeps, try to shove the lanes as far as possible and to avoid Liquid getting near their base, you know. But unfortunately, it's not gonna happen. Liquid's already knocking on the door. Lycan has his shape up.
Oh, and Mikoto, that blink just in time. They ignore the Sprout. He still has the Quelling Blade. He's keeping that just in case. They want to punish Mickey for this bad TP from Q is a little bit too long. Mickey's very slow, by the way. Does he have boots?
No,
he does not. That's why. Okay.
He's staggered.
He went for 4-step instead. That's a solution to the boots. Mid lane, there's also a fight happening, by the way. They caught Q, and Q is just going to die. I didn't know why he moved to the low ground there. Was that telekinesis, most likely?
Yeah, I think he's probably gonna know there's a vision there. There's an observer.
Right.
Yeah, they should know.
And now Jabs, they see him, Gleipnir, Mickey. He wants revenge, sprouts him first. We do have the crippling fear, but no Dark Ascension. Jabs trying to play around the trees. The trees turned alive, and now Jabs turned dead.
Oh boy, that is not looking good for Talon right now. Like Jabs dying again. He was trying to dodge around the tree, lose vision, and try to get a blink away. Maybe if he actually TP'd after the Gleipnir ended, maybe he would have actually survived there. But that's a pretty costly death, I would say, for Talon. Like I said, you know, somebody has to push, somebody has to create some space, somebody has to get the waves out, and I don't like it that it's Jabs, you know.
Why not?
I prefer it on the Snapfire. I don't feel like he should be giving up his life so much, you know. He has to carry the game.
He's now taking the flag of being the one that pushes lanes. Activates BKB, and maybe it was a bait with a Shadow Step, but that seems like it was a bait for the Spectre himself. 23 Savage and Mikoto fall side by side, killing nobody here.
Yeah, the game is just going at a too fast of a pace for Talon to deal with, you know. They have this greedy draft, the lanes are not pushed out, they're struggling to deal with this Liquid aggression, you know. Liquid is just doing all the right moves, pressuring the map, choking them out of every single bit of farm on the map, you know. This is just really, really difficult spot for Talon at the moment.
AC for the Lycan as well, so now we have push at these towers with us little minus armor there.
Roshan may spawn 3 minutes. I guess they'll probably wait for the second Rosh before they attempt high ground, unless they get a significant pick-off. But Zai has all the items they need, you know, to go high ground. He has the AC, he has the Blats, he has the Helm.
That's not Tusk, by the way. That's a Lycan. That's stat lid. Who got the AC a little bit faster than the average Pretty impressive job by Zai.
Yep, pretty impressive stuff. Tusk has to get the Axe, not the AC, to enable them to defend the high ground.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But that Axe is still 4,200 gold away, Winter. How do you find 4,200 gold in this game?
If there is a will, there is a way, Avro.
Okay, that's the C way, huh?
Yeah.
Is that what you said in MUFC as well?
Please.
23 Savage just got put to sleep, but it's just for a spray. He has been, for the most part, getting away with some dangerous haunts and shadow steps. But that last one, I think, might have taught him a lesson there.
He has to try to do what Ana did when he was playing Spectre, when they were losing, when OG was losing.
Oh, Rubik. Get a Walrus Punch with the cookie. That's going to kill Insania.
They need more kills.
They need a better kill as well. Jabba, that's going to be a second support. Tricks of the trade. He did get dusted, and that should be enough to finish him off. Ricky Q is quite valuable, but no cores yet. Jabs knows this. He wanted more. Jabs.
Oh, this is risky.
This is very risky. He thinks he can kill the puck. They still have Haunt. They don't. They have Shadow Step in 1 second, though. That's what they're playing around.
If he gets called, he might actually just die here.
Oh, he goes for the puck. Shadow Step. There we go. Everyone for the puck. There's an E-Blade in time. They can't hit him any longer. Snowball, though. That's going to be enough to keep him in place and kill him. One of us gets from a long away. And the Warlock Golem comes out, trying to stun the Lycan, but he's too fast. Jabs is now dead. Mickey joined as well. They put the Spectre to sleep. They want a body block, perhaps? No? The Zaya acknowledges Spectre still deals a lot of damage, but he's slowed. He's just a little bit too weak. Up to the high gun he goes. They have vision of him. To the low grab. There's a Mickey waiting for him. He's dead.
And Jabs.
Jabba catches Q. 4 versus 4 fight is going to be a win for Liquid as they send their carry in. There's only one core remaining. It's going to be Mikoto. He tries to TP. Do they have anything to cancel it? They do not.
Wow.
Mikoto will get away with that snowball.
But this is high ground. Liquid is going to go knocking on the high ground. Puck is going to be alive in 10 seconds. Everybody else, they have their BKBs. BKBs up on the Nature's Prophet. Oh my god, this is... How are they going to defend? They are not going to be able to defend this. They might have to concede the tower. Maybe even one of the Rexes. I'm not so sure here if they can actually defend. Alright, this upheaval is actually doing work.
I can't believe upheaval is what deters their aggression. But still 18k lead for Liquid, Winter. Even if you do have a supposedly better late game, you're playing with a tri-core, NP is almost doubling the Spectre's farm, 9k ahead.
I want to believe, but this is looking hard, man. This is looking hard.
In South America, we say the last thing you lose is hope. Right? As long as it's mathematically possible, Winter.
As long as there's light.
There's a light at the end of the tunnel. But the tunnel is really, really deep and very, very narrow.
It's a very long and dark tunnel right now. Talon is just stuck in a rock and a hard place at the moment. They have to try to find a way, win a team fight. They need to win maybe even 2 to 3 team fights to get themselves back into the game. But let's start with one. Let's look for one good team fight with all your ultimates.
Right, what do they say? You gotta walk before you run, right?
Yep, absolutely. Night Stalker almost has his BKB. That's going to be very, very big for him. So
Sure.
he can just avoid the call from the puck. Yeah, this E-Blade is actually quite risky. I'm quite surprised. Like, he actually just died in the last fight. He E-Bladed himself and he got destroyed by the Monolith's case.
Well, it's actually the snowball as well, right?
Yeah.
Because of the snowball stun, he couldn't actually get away. He was hoping they didn't have a tusk with him. It does prevent the combo of Night Stalker jumping onto you.
He's trying to get a 4-star now, so he realizes he needs the 4-star.
Yeah, that's probably the best option.
He's going to have it soon, so that should be fine for him.
Look at Savage though, he's actually going for Nullifier, so this E-Blade does matter to him, to some degree.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, Nullifier also deals with the 4 steps on the enemy, so it's a twofer here.
They have to try to jump at the same time, Jabs and 23 Savage. If they want to get the puck after he has 4-star, they have to coordinate their initiations. They move on him, get the Nullifier on him so he can't really escape the silence from the Night Stalker. So it's not that easy to coordinate, but I believe that Talon has the abilities to do it.
We'll see. For now, there's the second rush. You talked about this, Winter. This is the important one for the game. Comes with a shard as well. Yes, Whistle. They know. They know, guys.
Who's getting the shard? Let's see. Who is actually getting the shard? Do you give it to Puck?
Okay. For face shift attack?
Yeah. I guess so.
That's interesting.
I mean, he does a lot of right-click damage.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I guess the other shards, because Rubik and Ricky already have theirs, and those are the important ones.
Yep.
And the rest of them just don't matter very much. Curse of the Old Growth,
I
maybe.
mean, yeah, Nature's Prophet shot is pretty good.
Remember when it came out, people all said it was pretty terrible.
It's good against Spectre though, because if you think about it, Spectre's gonna try to hide around the map. They're losing right now. Right? Look at what he's doing. He has to try and hide around,
right?
Try to get some farm, and that could be actually very useful for them.
Yeah, you're right. Curse of the Old Growth could see him in the trees. Also useful for the Night Stalker as well.
Yep.
But Nisha is Nisha, and he wants the damage.
Yeah, he's the boss, you know. If he wants the shot, if he wants the roach kill, you give it to him, man.
Yeah, he says one thing the whole game, and that's the thing he just said. So you got to listen to it. It's in his contract. But he's not the best player in the world, of course, as he says.
What he says doesn't matter. What we think matters.
No, so you do think that?
Everybody thinks he's the... Yeah.
You're on the bandwagon there?
I'm definitely on the bandwagon.
I would agree. It feels like Liquid has also managed to enable him even more, which is crazy. But this team seems to work really well around him.
Yeah, sometimes you need a change of environment. You know, sometimes things are getting too still. However, for Talon, you know, they have to try and dig deep as usual. All the Talon games so far, like even during the group stages games, you know, some of the games, everybody, alright, Talon's done. But somehow they find a way. They always find a way, you know. They don't give up.
They find a C way, honestly.
Yeah, they find a C way.
Yeah. This is the team that, I mean, we had the region which had the longest game time by like 8 minutes. So there is a reason for that. They're experts in the late game.
As long as you don't give up, there is always a chance the enemy messes up.
We'll see if Liquid gives him that chance, though. It seems to be out of Talon's hands right now. Yep. Pushing the Rex with a double damage. Mickey. It's not going to take long to destroy the structure.
They have to give this Rex, I think. They have to give up this Rex. There's no way they can fight here.
No, they just have BKB on Zai. Zai is pretty much a carry now. He's gone from the pushing Lycan. He hasn't even finished the Helm of the Overlord. He's just straight up a carry.
They have buyback on Spectre. I think what they need to do is they have to send the Spectre in front, try to let Liquid jump on him, use buyback and try to turn the fight.
Okay. We'll see the play. Oh, not if Nisha is annoying them like this. He gets away easily, and I think that was the Shadow Step that they used? Yeah, that was the Shadow Step. Alright. So they only have Haunt now.
Denying the Rex, okay.
Yeah, sure, that's the desperation mode. They even missed the Scatter Blast. Mickey's not too phased by this. They're gonna go for the last set of Rex. Nothing is stopping them, really.
Yep, you've seen Talon did this in the previous series. They gave up a Rex against Shopify to try to get into the later portions of the game where their heroes are going to be stronger. But here, the game is entirely different. They are further even behind. This is looking tough, but I do believe it's the right decision. They have to try to wait for this Aghanim's, but he doesn't have time to get the Aghanim, so they have to defend the Rex here, the last remaining Rex.
There's a Dark Ascension. Okay, there's the attempt from Jabs, and they do kill Nisha to begin with. That's a pretty big kill for them. As they go for Insania next, Insania is just diverting their attention because the rest of his team is just pushing him, the tier 3 down. Mickey is slowed down by the upheaval. What are they going to do? Will they retreat? No, they stand their ground, actually. Liquid, confident, shapeshift from Zai. Now Mickey, there's a snowball going on to him. He can't really prevent that, but he's quite tanky. And with a rock, perhaps, they get rid of Jabba. Now they go for the real targets. Mikoto might be down, but can Mickey and Zai be strong enough, apparently, to route Jabs? That's good. Mickey, carry flight, going for the Warlock instead. Easier kill. Now for the Spectre has Silver Edge. Spectre needs to run away. She's broken, and she's going to die.
She has
Oh,
buyback.
23 Savage needs to buy back immediately, but Mickey just literally clicked the ground, chose the right target, now found Mikoto. That's going to be a dieback to Snowball. He's being baited out. Come here, little Tusk. Come here. We'll treat you to a nice drink. And he does.
Oh, no,
Blink
he's
into
dead.
the trees. He is dead. Another Silver Edge break for the Spectre. The Spectre is barely able to get away. And at least they stopped Mickey. Finally, Mickey has stopped attacking, but anything that comes close to him dies at this point. He has the Death Touch, the Eat a Creep. It doesn't matter. Everyone's running away from this turret of destruction.
He still have an Aegis. Oh my
Mickey just
god.
lifts his hands. He knows that they need to move right now. Nisha's joining him. He's doing an aggressive TP as well, and he continues. The turret moves. Someone stop Mickey, please.
I'm afraid nobody can, Alvaro. He's just too much of a beast at the moment. Aegis is timing out in 20 seconds. Can they actually time the Aegis and kill him as soon as the Aegis expires?
Range Rex will fall at this rate from Mickey. They're going for the melee as well. That's going to be Mega Creeps and the Aegis. Still in his possession, timed out because that's how tanky this man was.
Oh, this is just not looking good for Talon. They don't have the best heroes to defend Mega Creeps. No Cleave, no Battle Fury. Spectre's not that great at dealing with Mega Creeps. This is looking like they need more than a miracle to win this game.
Yes, they do. Can we get some technical problems now? Or is Talon just doomed? No pause major now. Everything's going smoothly. And smoothly is Liquid's win. As they take down the Ancient now. One last fight for the boys. Jabs initiated by Mickey. They've realized this man's invulnerable. He's immortal. He can hit anything. And he'll hit the Ancient to finish the game. The man's vibing. Liquid's winning. Talon lose the first game of the series.
Yeah, Talon has to figure out how to deal with this Liquid aggression, going for the super greedy draft, but it seems like against Liquid, they found a way, the zoo meta, the zoo draft, they're able to pressure the map, take everything away from you, and also the fact that they had a really, really tough laning phase for the Night Stalker. I felt like that was one of the primary reasons that they were so far behind in the early game. The Night Stalker just couldn't contribute until around 15 minutes. That is not something you want happen,
They seem to have found themselves in this game, found their strategy. We talked about this, the early game had to be played really well, and they played it, you would argue, impeccably, honestly, the first 20 minutes at least.
Yeah, I was even saying when I was looking at the player cams, I was looking at the Liquid players, oh my god, they have the faces.
He did say, he literally just read their faces, and he goes, Avo, I think Liquid might just win this first game. And he was correct. Winter the Oracle.
Oh boy, what
do they do? Okay, you've been on this situation before, you've been in the team. What's the speech now to get back for game number 2?
They have to just forget everything and play a new game. They have to try to reset. Don't try to put yourself too down. Keep the morals high. Try to figure out a way to deal with this Liquid aggression.
Right.
And try to play better in the lanes. The laning phase has been one of the problems that Talon has been facing, even during the group stage, even during DPCs. I feel like that's a problem that has always been reoccurring for this team, and they have to try to find a way to put a band-aid on that. They have to figure out how to solve this problem against Liquid. If there's no lane, there is no game for Talon.
We'll see if they can figure out that problem, Winter. Is that what you would fix, concentrate on one mistake then, is what you're saying? Like one thing that they need to fix? That's going to be the laning stage, and then forget about everything else.
Yeah, they have
keep
to
morale up.
try to deal with the laning phase. You can't put everything on the players' minds. There's too many things that you have to think about, and if you put an extra one more thing or extra two more things, it might even make it too difficult for them to perform. For now, just focus on the lane, get past the laning phase, and then play the game.
Coach Winter has spoken. Will they be able to concentrate in the laning phase, or will Liquid show us why they were top seed in Western Europe? We're going to find out. Before that, we do have a lovely panel to break down this game number 1.
Reports of Team Liquid's death has been greatly exaggerated, it seems. And I'll take responsibility. I've been pushing the propaganda, but it seems like today Team Liquid have made some valuable adjustments, Effie. I think they looked quite critically at their previous series and they made the adjustments necessary against Talon.
Yeah, I'm so glad that they shifted Insania to position 4 and they had Jabs play position 5. That's what I wanted them to do yesterday. But after talking to the players personally, they told me that they thought it would be too much of a change yesterday, but today they're willing to try it. And I think putting Insania on these position 4 playmakers is what they need to do, because strategically, Zai's lane is like a center point of how Liquid have been approaching these games. So I think securing that lane and putting Jabs on some, like Abaddon, some Ricky, some Treant, some Undying, something on this archetype will definitely make it so they can feel like they're playing their strategies the same way. And I just love that they did the Zoo draft. I think the Zoo draft is how to play against Talon. You want to body their towers, you want to body their jungle, you want to make sure they get nothing out of the map, and you want to exploit them.
Yeah, the Zoo draft is really good, especially on Radiant. You're going to control the enemy jungle, the Roche area. You cannot invade the triangle, but the MP was sending units there. And it also goes with the point that she mentioned. You have Insania on 4, so they can win the offlane. They pressure the offlane, and they take this tower really early on.
Which gives them access to Roche, right?
Exactly.
I gotta shout out Jabs in that game.
Please.
Which one? Sorry, Jabba. He's going by Jabba now to help with the confusion. He played really well on Ricky. I remember we saw a death where like him and Insania went down on the top lane, and then Talon kind of overcommitted to a mid fight, and then Jabba bought back and set up like 2 kills in that fight, and I was just thinking like, that's a like tier 1 buyback. That's a really good buyback. That's a thing that you can't underestimate, is that, okay, sure, he's an analyst and a coach and, 8 or 9k MMR player standing in, but he's standing in with 4 world-class players. He's a world-class coach himself. You can upgrade pretty quickly with only a couple of days of practice, especially if you're on the right archetype of hero, right? Because it's not like we're saying, oh, he's a bad player, give him like these easy heroes. Plenty of 5s play Treant Undying every single game, right? This is a perfectly normal thing to have in the game where he can basically be a coach within the game, right? He can tell his team what to do. He can focus on the comms that are going on and stuff like that. So it seems like the adjustment that they made worked. It definitely worked.
The thing is, I think that Liquid have kind of found the key to securing their side lanes, right? We talked about Insania playing position 4, but I think if they can get this Nature's Prophet with some like beefy melee hero for the safe lane every time, that looks really solid because
Agreed.
Prophet is a lane winning hero in and of itself, right? He just needs something to back it up. So I think what Talon are going to do here is they're going to adjust to try to win the lane against Prophet if they give it away. I loved what they did yesterday versus Shopify, picking up that Primal Beast for jabs, Talon's jabs. You know what? For the sake of clarity, I'm going to say Jabba versus jabs. Okay.
Perfect.
So for this, so jabs. When he picked up Primal Beast, the game looked entirely different than the game 2 where he played that Dawnbreaker. It didn't look that good, and I would say Night Stalker kind of fits in the same way. You want Night Stalker's game to kind of go a certain way, right? You want to farm, you want to maybe get some rotations with darkness, but you don't want the team to run at your team early because you need items to be effective. Dawnbreaker is pretty similar in that her gameplay becomes one-dimensional if her team is getting run over. So I think you put jabs on this playmaker, you give him this Primal Beast, let him counter this Furion, and the game's going to look different for Talon.
I feel like Talon did such a huge draft mistake again. We saw the Dawnbreaker losing lane, now we see Night Stalker losing lane against. You see Azul, so playing against Azul, you pick Night Stalker, you're gonna lose your lane, it's fast tempo. Night Stalker against fast tempo is really bad. Warlock is really bad. Spectre is really bad. They picked 3 heroes that are terrible against fast tempo, and Liquid just doubled down this fast tempo. They need to be able to counter it either by being aggressive on lanes with a Primal or having a hero that at least protect areas such as a Kanka, Zeus, Koro, DK type of hero that's a beefy. They had 2 support 4s that were ranged. You guys were talking about that they always play Tiny Tusk, and now...
Yeah. Talon looks different without Q on a hero that can run around and do stuff in the early game. Like, it just felt like there weren't moves coming out of them, and it resulted in a Zoo draft not only having a, strong showing when they came out of the laning stage, but like they won all the lanes on Liquid, right? So maybe that's a result of not having the 4 position that they're used to having roam around. And then also throw jabs on a carry as well. I feel like this Talon draft, it was off from what we've normally seen, but that also could be on account of Liquid just figuring out that Talon looks bad whenever jabs gets completely shut down.
I also feel like maybe Talon's draft isn't too bad if you kind of zoom it out and not look at Liquid's draft, but Liquid had the right approach to playing against something like this. Because you look at Talon's heroes, you see the Spectre, you see the Snapfire, you see this Warlock. Like, these heroes are pretty good at defending their own triangle, right? If their Spectre just wanted to chill and farm there, I can see how they could have turned a fight or two. If Night Stalker just presses Darkness, they get the Fatal Bonds off, they get a good Golem, things could have changed, but Liquid did not give them that. They did not play into their triangle in any way. They just focused their priority on the main jungle, on kicking them out of lanes, of chasing them away.
This goes super back to the draft when I mentioned the Liquid can win with Radiant, and I feel if Talon was Radiant, they could win with this draft because you protect your try, and Liquid needs to invade it in order to get access to Roche. But if you're Dire, you just ignore them. They just ignored the triangle and kept with the big jungle. They have a free Roche because they have control of the full area.
And we've talked about how, like, in this patch, or at least in this major, people don't seem to be valuing the first Roche that much. So you'd think like, Radiant protecting their triangle, taking over the enemy jungle, like getting that Roche, doesn't matter so much. It's one Aegis, right? People want that Aghanim Shard. With the Zoo draft, that's different, right? It's like you constrict the map so much with all of the summons. It feels so oppressive. It's impossible to play anywhere. And you have a bunch of heroes that need to farm and need to go into the late game. So the first Roche does matter when there's this like huge committal to the Zoo meta. Maybe if it's just a Furion, not so much. Whatever. You give them the Aegis, they're not going to control that much of the map. But Lycan plus Nature's Prophet plus the Ricky running around sleep darting you, like you don't want to lose the map early against this lineup.
Yeah, I think Talon, if they want to make an adjustment for next game, they should start looking at this Rubik too, how they want to handle it, if they're going to steal it for themselves or eliminate it, because I feel that this Rubik gives Liquid a lot of potential to play the draft the way they want to. Yeah, they shifted Insania to 4 this time, but it's also a hero that Jabs plays if they kind of feel that they have to put Insania on some Oracle or something wild like that, right? If the draft develops in such a way. So I think that Talon can make it easier for themselves because Liquid are still playing with a stand-in and there are going to be holes in their draft that they can exploit.
I'm with you though that Talon does look different, because even though Jabs lost his lane, the off-lane Night Stalker Jabs lost his lane. It wasn't because Liquid specifically engineered that. It was a final pick Night Stalker, and he knew the lane that he was going into. And I assume that the main idea behind the Night Stalker is, what, I'm just going to eat the Overlord creep?
He didn't even get an Overlord.
He didn't even get an Overlord.
I thought that was a great little itemization thing from Zai, where he went for the Vlads plus the Dom just for the early game, and then the Vlads to buff up his team. But then he started going for like AC, drums, BKB. That's cool. I've never seen that before.
Is Insania sliding a boot?
Dude, he's feeling himself right now.
Is that a shoe?
I think it's a cast.
Oh, it's a cast.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or
Somebody
a sock.
broke their foot kicking their computer when Liquid lost the game in Gladiators.
But yeah, jokes aside, I'm just glad that Liquid got this win. I feel that Jabba might have felt very bad after yesterday, but he looks happy. There were hugs all around. I mean, this is kind of the confidence boost that they needed, that, hey, we're still really good. We can play with this, and we can make this work. So I'm just happy to see the smiles on their face today.
Yeah, even if they do end up losing the series, I think like it has to haunt you if you don't get a single win on main stage. You get double 2-0'd back-to-back, and then you go back to just normal life. But he's getting a taste. He got the victory, and it was a well-deserved victory. And putting him on a Riki, putting him on non-skill shot heroes, I feel like that Mirana was like a high-stress game that he played last time.
That's a tough one, yeah. I think what probably feels good for him is that he had a good game, too. Like, that was a solid Riki performance.
Absolutely.
He was setting things up. He was doing his job. He did exactly what he needed to do. So that's got to feel good. It's not just, oh, I got carried this game. Thank God I didn't lose. It's like he had great impact.
Yeah. And on the flip side, I feel that Talon now, they kind of need Sunby to knock some sense into them. Because this is where he comes in as a coach and gets them to calm down and like reevaluate the draft and their approach to the game. Because he did mention in his interview yesterday, after Talon beat Shopify, that he thinks that an issue with a lot of C teams is that they can underestimate their opponents and get complacent. And he said that he was a little bit worried that Talon might get complacent.
He said he was going to yell at them.
Yeah, because of Jabba standing in. So I think now is the time to kind of snap them back into it and let them respect Liquid like as the world-class team that they are.
Also, Talon just might kind of legit be tired. They have been having a hell of a run in this tournament throughout the lower bracket. Yesterday, they had to play 2 series, show up bright and early for this one, and then if they manage to win this series, then they have a best of 5 to do after that. And I think during Sunby's interview, he definitely looked a little spent.
He did. He sounded very, very spent.
It's all right.
He earned the victory.
They're Dota players. They're used to this.
This is just chain queuing, basically.
These guys don't sleep. Yeah, this is absolutely chain queuing. These are MMR fiends.
Yeah. But the thing about Talon is that as we watched them in this tournament, I feel like they've adjusted their drafts pretty quickly. Like, they have tried this Naga offlane on the main stage. They have tried this Dawnbreaker on the main stage. They tried
it against Liquid, actually.
Yeah, they've tried things that maybe on paper look like a bad idea, but they thought that they could pull it off, right? But when it didn't work out for them, they were not stubborn about those ideas. They are very quick to drop something if it doesn't work. So I think that they're not going to brute force these ultra slow lineups versus Liquid.
Yeah, drop the Warlock, please. You're inviting Zoo, you're inviting heroes that play fast. Even an Alchemist would be a free win against our Warlock. Such a slow hero. If you fast tempo against him, the game gets unplayable.
I mean, last night, you were telling me the hero that you wanted to not see in Talon's hands was the Elder Titan. And Elder Titan against this draft must have been way better in that situation.
Would have been good. It's way better against Zoo. So please don't invite the Zoo when the only counter to your lineup is a Zoo.
I know the counter.
Tell me.
It is a Winter Wyvern game.
An uncontested hero?
We are going to see Winter Wyvern for the first time in this major next game.
Yeah, if anyone hasn't been keeping up, there are still 12 uncontested heroes, which means no picks or no bans throughout this entire event. Axe, Juggernaut, Sand King, Witch Doctor, Necrophos Dazzle, Clinks, Meepo, Ogre, Medusa, Grimstroke, and Winter Wyvern. She hasn't shown up yet.
A Sand King last pick would have been better than the Night Stalker. 100% sure. But a Timber,
that would have been good.
A Timber pick could have won then the game.
Yeah, either of those. Anti-summons, something that's anti-summons.
Yeah, you CMP is carry, and then you pick a losing lane against him. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Unless they thought they could greed it out and they didn't think that Jabba would be such a beast on this Ricky.
I mean, Primal Beast, I feel like is the number one.
True.
Was that
Banned.
taken out? It was banned. Okay.
That's-
That would be the number one if it wasn't
Yeah, Liquid
banned
took it
out
out second phase.
in the second phase. Yeah.
I believe when you see MP first pick, you counter him on the 2 side lanes. So you go Primal Beast already on the first part of the draft, and then you go the Spectre, or you go some sort of TB.
Yeah.
They're replacements, either in carry or off lane role.
Yeah, but
you need to counter both.
The PB is not going to make it through second phase, so you have to first phase. And they picked the Snapfire first phase, and it didn't look very good. It didn't look worth first phasing compared to like the PB.
Yeah, it may have also been a denial pick, because I know there's like a relationship that Liquid liked between Snapfire and Undying. Undying ended up not showing up in this game, but there's a lot of meta gaming going on in this draft. And let's, with the Jonan jacket, quick question, Effie. What do you think he's more of a Kakashi or am I always mispronounce
There's no way he's Kakashi Sensei.
Is he a Shikamaru?
No.
What? So he's just a poser then?
No,
I'm
because
so sick of this
Shikamaru
Naruto
Shikamaru sleeps
BS.
all the time. Will is pretty alert.
But he's a master strategist, though.
Okay, who?
I think Jabba is the Rock Lee
No,
of Dota.
he is. I'll tell you, he is a Jiraiya.
Okay.
Like he brings energy. He makes people have fun. He takes them out and about. He puts them through training journeys. But he can also just do like the older brother father figure type of role. I feel like he's Jiraiya Sensei, but he's not Kakashi. Kakashi's a bit too mysterious. You know what I mean?
Okay. Well, Insania would be very happy to hear that because he's been having Jiraiya as his profile picture. Love dropping obscure anime references on a Dota major. You want the Dota, I'll give it to you. It's time for game number 2.
Welcome one and all to game number 2 here in the Lima Major, the lower bracket final between Team Liquid and Talon Esports. Team Liquid 1 game up despite having the stand-in, and right now Talon Esports searching for answers. The game 2 draft is already underway, and we need to see some major adjustments coming in from them. Crucially, we need to see Q on a hero that allows them to do stuff on the map here. But more importantly, they need an answer for Nature's Prophet. Completely undefeated by Team Liquid, 100% win rate across 6 games at the Major. Ari, what's the response here in the event that they do give away the Prophet again?
Well, initially I would expect it to be banned out, but if they do take the Prophet, then I really hope to see Q on the Tusk or the Tiny. We really need to roam and like shut him down early, stop him snowballing like last game. He was just too fat, too strong, and Talon can deal with him.
Yep, I'm hoping for the same here because they have not lost with Nature's Prophet on the side of Liquid, but Talon have not won unless they have Tusk or Tiny for Q at the main event so far. So we're going to be hoping that they do manage to find a way to slot that hero into the draft. The game 2 draft, as I mentioned, is underway. I do want to also see them maybe try and angle for this Treant Protector, because they've looked pretty decent when they do have it. Well, they get the Treant Protector. They do not get the Tiny. Banned. Tusk is most likely going to be banned in the next game. But Fia, what do you make of this respect being shown towards Jabs? They leave Nature's Prophet and they say, you know what, Ricky was the problem that game.
I mean, I think this is a really cool approach to dealing with this game because Ricky's not the highest execution hero in the game, right? You're kind of just chilling, you're throwing darts out, coming in as a stand-in. That might be a very easy position where you can succeed in. So I think them respect banning that is going to force them into a different situation as well, where they might be able to get a bit of an edge against the stand-in. They're really just targeting Jabs here.
Yeah, we see this Primal Beast as a response to the Prophet. It's really good at ganking him in the early game. There's a slight problem when he gets Sprout and you can leash at level 20, but until then, the Primal Beast is really strong from the mid lane at ganking the Prophet.
there's still potential for them to play this from the off lane as well, right? Jabs can play this hero. We've seen them also, if they are playing melee strength 4s for Q, what's left? If you're not playing Tiny, you're not playing Earthshaker, you're not playing Tusk, there's a non-zero chance that you end up playing Primal Beast instead under these conditions. So it could happen. We'll see what happens as the draft unfolds. As Puck Lina gets removed as well. More respect being shown towards the mid lane as well, Yari. They're like, the game was a little bit too fast for us. Let's try and slow it down.
Yeah, and also back to the Primal Beast, we can see in some games Whisper started playing a Vanguard Primal Beast, which is really good against Prophet. We saw Jabs do it in the last series as well. So this could be like a lane counter or a mid ganking counter. It's like really good in both ways. And the Clockwork is really good in lane against the Treant. It's like hard for the Treant to harass him because he's really scared of being battery assaulted to death. And he's also good at cancelling the Primal Beast spells. So yeah, both sides have responded really well to each other here.
Yeah, and we're going to see that Q will not be getting Tiny, will not be getting Tusk this game, as they're both now banned here. And that's what's kind of afraid about in the last series, or when they put him onto the Snapfire. I was praising, he got his Tusk in the first phase. They're really happy. They chose to do an audible there and throw a Tusk in the mid lane. And now it feels like they're playing a different type of game, where they have to make their mid make rotations instead of Q. But they've just looked so damn good on Q being the one making the rotations. There's not a lot of heroes left that I feel like are really good as like that POS 4 that can roam. I mean, we saw Crit play Earth Spirit, it looked really great. Not entirely sure Q plays that hero. Shaker hasn't looked great. I'm not sure. Ari, are there any other POS 4s that are good at roaming and making plays happen in this
personally,
meta?
I love Primal Beast POS 4.
Alright.
I don't know if he plays it, but it's a possibility. Earthshaker, Earth Spirit, they're not that strong, but they're the only ones left that I can think of.
It's either that or they just need to adapt, right? And then he needs to play these range POS 4s, and they need to somehow find a way to make it work.
We're going to also be seeing, in the last game, that Snapfire was his first one at the tournament in its entirety, so I'm not entirely sure this is the place to necessarily be pulling out heroes you haven't played in a while, but right. A lot of teams have done magic in the pretty much clutch situations, and he has played Primal Beast before once. One professional game on Primal Beast 5 months ago. So in the event that he drags it out here, it would be the biggest show of strength coming in from the side of Talon Esports.
There is one melee fort that some teams were doing a while ago. I've not seen it this tournament, but previously Sven POS 4 was quite popular against physical damage lineups. Prophet could be the start of that. If they see like a bit more, maybe they take a Sven here on POS 4.
Actually, how about this here, right? We put Sven POS 5, and then we play the Treant Protector as the POS 4, right? That way we have one side of the map give you sustain out of the Treant Protector. You have BKB piercing disable. The other side of the map guarantees some additional armor so that Nature's Prophet is a little bit weaker early on. And then maybe this Primal Beast picks up the Vanguard we're talking about, mitigating a lot of the damage coming out of this Nature's Prophet in the early game.
I mean, it can work, but I don't want to see Talon do that. I want to see them be aggressive. Like, roaming Tree is not aggressive. Like, he's going to be very passive. He wants to play in the lane a lot. I want to see Q doing what he does best, setting up kills, making the mid lane feel threatened for their life. All the heroes we talked about, he has played this Shaker. And he has also played Mirana, which is very good with the Primal Beast as well. So I think those are the two heroes that Talon are most likely going to pick here. But if he does play that Mirana style, I do want to see the Primal mid most likely. That way he can play around his mid laner a lot. I know Jabs does like to play this Primal as well. In the game they won, he did go exactly that Vanguard build, into Mana Boots, into like BKB Refresher. He was really farmed that game. But either way, Mirana is if they play the Primal mid. Shaker, then I think just give Jabs it, and then you just roam on the Shaker, get that Vanguard, let him self-sustain.
So let's see, Storm Spirit gets taken out, Ember Spirit, the response from Talon. They have to lead the charge here in the second phase of picks. Several options. For Jabs, they're still a little bit open. I would also like to see them get a hero from Makoto as early as humanly possible. They pick up the Rubik for now. Alright. So that's going to be our support duo. We saw this quite a lot throughout the group stage already, the Rubik Treant support duo. It was either like Rubik Tree or Rubik Undying. They were really strong for the most part.
Yeah, generally speaking, these two supports are considered like S-tier supports, but it does mean we're not having a melee support on Q, and we're also very static on the tree. So maybe the Primal Beast doesn't have that much to play with, not much damage to work with. It's like a little unconventional for this team.
And I think the Rubik here is one of the Q's least successful heroes this tournament. He's at a 25% win rate with it, so it's not exactly like the style we want to see them go for. It is an okay Rubik game in a lot of ways. I guess you can toss people out of the cogs. It will give Jabs a stronger laning stage with whatever he plays because Rubik is such a strong laner. But it's not really going with the archetype of what Talon's been winning with. They're doing something different.
So far, there's not really any good spells to steal. That's like a bit weird with Nature's Call and Teleport is quite nice, but it's not no damage, no lockdown or anything like that. But the save from the extra cast range on 4 staff and the shard is really nice against these heroes. So that's one thing they have going for them.
Team Liquid now can look at this response, decide what to do. This is when things get interesting for them, deciding how to protect Nature's Prophet or if it's going to be played in the offlane. Because we did see in the group stage, a lot of times is Nature's Prophet getting exploited by these exact 2 heroes in the laning phase. The Primal Beast Rubik making a lot of difficulty for the safe lane hero. So we'll see. I think right now you just pick up the Nisha hero and decide later. And indeed they go for this Pangolier in the mid lane. Pango feels good, give them some team fight, give them some movement off the map. And Nisha has just been a beast on this hero. But to be fair, he's been a beast on everything.
Yeah, I just kind of want to mention real quick about Liquid. I think last game, something that we didn't talk about too much yet is the fact that Insania played position 4.
Yeah, that's true.
Jabs played position 5. Insania hasn't busted this Disruptor out even once this tournament. So I'm thinking Jabs is just switching to 5 now, and this Disruptor might be a comfort pick of his that they're just busting out here, and then Insania is going to might pick up the clockwork and play position 4 this game.
Okay. I'm hoping that would be pretty interesting to actually have happen here. I don't think I've seen much Insania clock, but it is clockwork. You should know how to play this hero as a support player.
Yeah, we see the TA come out, which is it's one of Talon's favorites. Not many teams are doing this, especially from the mid lane, but Talon really like it. It fits their style a lot. They want to farm a lot on their 3 cores. If they can hold the game of this TA from mid or safe lane, which they play it on both, then they might win this game if it goes late.
Obviously, Talon, one of the teams that plays for the late game. We heard from 23 Savage in the one interview that in C Dota, you just play late. Everybody just keeps farming. So Mikoto, this is likely going to be his hero. One thing I like about TA mid is that, yes, it does farm, but it's a hero that likes to move around as well. It doesn't just stay static in the mid lane forever. What's the likelihood here of them stealing some strats here from Team Liquid and running like some dual range cores in the mid and the safe lane?
It could be quite high. It really depends on what Liquid will play here. Talon, they have secured the last pick of this game here. I think we have seen before in a game where they like this matchup. The TA against the Pango, it was actually against eHome, they ran this exact matchup. And then 24 ended up picking the last pick Monkey King. So whatever they do here, I think they're in a position where this TA, it could go safe lane against the NP. I've seen that be okay in some games, but they are totally fine putting it versus the Pango. But they're going to see where this NP goes. That's the important part. If it's going to be a carry or an offlaner, and I think one thing 23 is just really going to focus on for this last pick is just winning his lane. Yeah. Right? And that way they have the double carry, winning lanes into like an easy transition into the mid game.
I think it's quite likely they put the TA mid here. They can have like a Vanguard, Arcane Boost, Primal Beast independent in the offlane against Furion, and then they play around mid and make stacks and triangles, secure the TA's farm. I think this will be their game plan for this game. They defend safe lane tower of Trian, they make stacks and triangle, they protect the TA, and Primal Beast is self-sufficient.
And then we can kind of look at 23's hero pool that can play around the TA. Will be maybe the Monkey King, maybe we've seen him play Doom a lot in the past. There is depending what they pick here, he's played heroes like Bristleback, but are a lot less greedy. So he's going to see his matchup, basically. And that will determine a lot on what he wants to play here. For Liquid, though, they do get to decide what they want to do about this Primal Beast. Is it okay to put up an NP versus it, or do they want to try and punish this Primal Beast with another carry pick?
Talon seems to feel that they're looking for an offlane hero for Zai here. If that is the case, Ori, what's missing in their lineup? Well, never mind, it's not going to be an offlaner. It's going to be an offlane Nature's Prophet. Safe lane Morphling. Going to be rounding out the draft here for Team Liquid. Alrighty, so for Talon, if you're 23 Savage right now, you have the 24 pick in the draft, you've seen the lay of the land, you know what your lane looks like, you know what your carry-to-carry matchup looks like, who do you want to end the draft with?
That's a great question.
If they're feeling very greedy, there could be something like a Terrorblade. I know Talon do quite like to run these double, really farmy cores.
Is there Ursa in the game?
There is?
There is an Ursa.
I would want to be Ursa, I think, this game, if I'm 23. Monkey King's okay as well. I think the Doom carry could work for some Morphling.
There may even be a slight possibility that Liquid run a safe lane Pango and have Nisha on Morphling mid. Given that Mickey used to play mid a lot, and I'm sure he plays a really good Pango, and Nisha also loves the Morphling, they could like swap these lanes up to be anything really.
There's also a non-zero chance that the Pango goes off lane, the Morphling goes mid, and then the Nature's Prophet still safe lane.
Yeah, the options are very open.
Yeah. I don't think they'll want to do the Morph versus the TA mid, though, if that is what they choose. But if they pick some other weaker mid that can be exploited...
There's the Terrorblade.
There's the Terrorblade. They're going all in for the late game here.
Alright, this is Talon style. You know, they might not necessarily be picking the right things for Q all the time, but the one thing they will always do is give themselves an opportunity to farm for the late game. All right, carry player, talk to me about this. You're Terrorblade in this game. Do you feel confident being able to carry Talon Esports to victory and force a game number 3?
Absolutely. You have a pretty easy lane against the Nature's Prophet. The Pango, when he's rolling around, might be a little bit annoying with the disarm and stun, but you are a ranged hero. You're going to buy Scotty versus the Morphling, and then you have Makoto. I think Talon have... Being greedy is all about like being able to make it to that late game timing, and I think their laning stage does allow them to do that.
Yeah, Talon's lanes look really strong in this game, so I think they'll be able to at least get half the way to the kind of stage of the game that they want. Then they need to make a couple of good moves or survive some good moves the Liquid are making, and then they'll be there.
Let's talk about like Team Liquid though, because they have instead put jabs on the Clockwork and Insania's playing the Disruptor here, Zai's in the off-lane Nature's Prophet. Ari, what do you make of this draw from Liquid? What do they need to do to ensure that they win Game 2 and get themselves into the Grand Finals?
Same story as Game 1. They need to hit the timing and they need to run a Talon really quickly, really hard, not give them any space on the map. If TA and TB are farming freely, then there's no way that Liquid wins, so they have to stop this quickly. Maybe around 15 minutes, they can hit timing with like Greaves, Morphling first item, and just start running at the enemy with Prophet Global.
Well, we're going to be seeing whether or not Team Liquid has what it takes to play yet again in an extremely fast pace, put Team Talon on the back foot and force a game number 2 victory, or if it's going to be Talon Esports to go to game number 3 and maybe make their own way into the Grand Finals. To find out, we have Arvo Plus, we have Winter, and we've got an amazing game of Dota 2, so gentlemen, take it away.
Game 2 is upon us, and Team Liquid, they went for a little bit more late game, so Talon responded with even more late game this time. Isn't that right, Winter?
Yeah, bring on the late game. Talon says, you wanna play a 70-minute game? I'm gonna play an 80-minute game.
And that has been the specialty of this team for a while. We've already hyped up how great their late game is, but the question is, can they get to it? We already saw last game, Liquid are really good at playing that early. Is this time maybe a little bit easier for Talon? Is Liquid's early as dominant?
It's hard. They're playing against an MP early game. They have to try to survive the early game, but I do agree this time they have better heroes. The Primal Beast is much more stable for the early game compared to a Night Stalker, and he should be able to do a lot more compared to what he had done in the last game where he just got dumpstered, in the early game. So I have high hopes for Talon this game, much better hopes.
Okay. Now about the strengths of their lineup then, if you were to consider, besides that great late game. What else? What do they have? Do they check? What boxes do they check? What boxes are they not checking for you?
They're checking the Roshan box for sure.
Great.
They're checking the team fight box with the Triumph Protector plus Primal. I think those two are going to be very, very deadly in the team fights. But on the other hand, they are going to be up against a Pango roll, a Disruptor, Static Storm. Those are going to be pretty annoying for their heroes until they get BKBs. So I would say that the BKB timings of this game are going to be, as usual, crucial for Talon. They have always this kind of lineups where they are trying to outscale you, they are trying to outfight you, they're not planning to get any mech, any pipe, they don't fucking care about those items, they just want their BKBs.
Let's look at the Liquid checklist then. But this was a Winter checklist with Liquid here.
Do they need I guess it's probably going to be the same. They're going to be aiming to get BKBs on MP and Morphling. They're going to be trying to outscale as well. But with a timing, you can never outscale a Terrorblade with this kind of heroes. Like Terrorblade just wins the ultra late game. You have to try to finish the game 40-50 minutes. Faster is even better if you can do that.
Even with the ads on Morphling, you don't think there's any scaling chances for Morphling these days?
I mean, that's true. But I still favor the Terrorblade later, Like Morphling, you're trying to end a game in a very specific timing with this kind of lineup with MP. You don't want to make the game too late, because Terrorblade is just going to eventually out-carry everybody, so we shall see, how the laning phase goes, how are the rotations going to be. And Liquid does have some advantage in terms of the early rotations, because you have a mid Pango, and Talon has a mid TA, he's going to want to farm, So you're going to be able to put a lot more pressure with the Pango for sure.
How does matchup in general in the laning stages? Do you expect anyone to come out ahead?
Should be fine for either hero.
Oh, top lane actually, they got poor Savage is already dead to Disruptor and NP.
Yeah, I've been seeing all these disruptors with level 1 glimpse. In the series yesterday was Entity. Fishman showed how the level 1 glimpse could have been so impactful. Like after taking the runes, he's just glimpsing the enemy support away. But here, as you can see, like Glimpse is just able to secure them the kill on the Terrorblade. Oh wow.
Counter attack for Insania. But he's gonna survive this.
I mean, if he came out 1 second earlier, he might have gotten Glimpse back. But it's okay, he was able to Thunder Strike at level 1.
Yeah, gives you damage, and now you have 2 damaging spells in Thunder Strike and Glimpse, which is what allows his harassment to be so powerful.
Yeah.
Fishman already demonstrated this.
I'm a bit surprised he actually went for Thunder Strike at level 2 because they have 2 range heroes. I feel like maybe Kinetic Field is going to be better in the laning phase, so both of